All right. Let me fix the cam. And let's get into it. I don't have that much time today. I've been really busy. Lately I've just had to do a bunch of stuff. For the house, for my personal life, for streaming. So I don't have that much time. I've had like meetings this week, normally around noon. Yesterday I had the crackdown. I did face check the day before. But also I've just had like a bunch of stuff to do. So I've been a lot more busy than normal, but next couple weeks should be completely free. So I'll start streaming more. I'll do like I'll do solo queue. I'll play solo queue. I might do like a support stream with Hums playing AD because I think that would just be hilarious. It'll be just good content. I want to do a bunch of different types of things. Like I want to do all of Korea VOD review. Like I want to do like 1 or 2 days where I just grind out all the VODs from playoffs in Korea. Which, probably cure your insomnia. If any of you guys have problems sleeping, you guys could watch those streams and I can, help you there on that front. Anyways, so today we're just going to be watching EDG versus FPX, which was the, winner bracket final here. I'll show this because people were confused. So, EDG ended up, beating TES 3-0. We watched these series on stream. FPX 3-0'd RNG. This is the winner bracket final. The loser of this match were in the loser bracket. Loser bracket final. And then, this is the grand finals that will happen. Most people already know the results. People have already talked about the 5-game bangers. I assume that these games are old enough that everyone knows the results, so there's not really like spoilers here. It's just been a bunch of good fucking leagues. So FPX versus EDG, you want to watch RNG versus TES, EDG versus RNG. These next matches, we got to watch all of them soon. So, yep. We'll get RNG versus TES. I wanted to do this one first. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to do both. I don't think I have anything to do tomorrow. I don't think I have any meetings. I would have to check. I'm not sure. My schedule's been busy, and Kelly's been telling me what I need to do. So I will check to see if I'm able to watch both series, but I would love to just watch all 10 games of the losers bracket, quarters and semis and finals tomorrow if I can. All right. Ooh, it's actually so hype, bro. It's so hype. These series are so good.
On the left.
So I've already watched these series, but I watched it kind of like a fan. Not really like watching for what's happening. Like I watched it like eating breakfast on the second monitor, like, oh shit, this is happening. Oh shit, that is happening. But I didn't really like watch and analyze why things were happening. So I'm not sure if the series are actually like super good quality, if there's like a lot of good play, or if it's just like close games and that's what makes it hype. So I guess we'll get into that now. But I know that in terms of just like the feeling of these series, like I know that it's just been a bunch of bangers in LPL over and over. Wait, what is this? What? EDG versus FPX game 1. Why does this? Okay. Game 2. Oh no, wait, where's the first one? 2 months ago, 4 days ago. Game 3. Did the first one get taken down? Semifinals. Why did Epic skill shot? All right, let me just check. Maybe the first game got taken down and I'm going to have to... I mean, we can find it either way, but I would just hope that it would be there. All right, let's see. GFPX. Okay, EDG. Where's EDG FPX? EDG FPX. EDG FPX. So he didn't upload the first game for some reason. Damn. Sucks. Yeah, he didn't upload. So we'll have to watch on somebody else's. Let's see. Playoffs. It's so weird. The first game is just gone. I mean, we can always watch here, but it's not as good there. Normally. Dude, I hate that finding VODs is actually this hard. I don't think I missed it yet. This is highlights. I don't care about highlights. To buy upload date this week. Maybe that does something. I don't know if it'll even do anything. I don't want it in Vietnamese. If you go to LOL event, LOL esports, you can just click. Yeah, but I mean, so they're gonna just, I mean, they're gonna direct me to this VOD. I mean, we could just watch it off this.
For the side of EDG, it's for that Azir pick, but I'm with you. I actually don't think that
we'll just do this, I guess.
The Corki into the Azir. I mean, they were going to blind pick mid on 4 no matter what anyway, because again, they have Nugri on the roster.
From what I know about the LOL esports site, I remember doing it, and it just directs you to like this VOD, like the whole VOD. But yeah. But yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so EDG versus FPX game 1. Why did Epic Skillshot not upload the first game? That's so weird. Why would he upload only 4 out of 5 games? All right, whatever. So let's look at bans. Orianna banned by EDG. Interesting. The Orianna ban, DoNB pulling it. Renekton banned as well against FPX. Now, this is actually pretty interesting because Nugri doesn't play like that much Renekton. DoNB actually feels like recently he's been playing more Renekton than Nugri. So I really like the Renekton ban because I feel like DoNB's just like eating 2 bans for free now. And yeah, I mean, DoNB's champion pool, he's been playing a lot of the mages, right? Like, he's been playing Victor, he's been playing Orianna. He's still, like, playing Kled when there's opportunities. It feels like he's still, you know, DoNB. I like this picture of DoNB. Opinion on more jungle? I haven't played Morgana jungle. I don't really want to play Morgana jungle. I really hope Morgana and Darius don't end up being like the meta. It sounds kind of lame, to be honest. All right, so Rel early picked, and we're seeing Rakan into Rel. I actually really hate this from EDG. I know some people have been saying that the matchup isn't that bad. Like the lane matchup of Rakan versus Rel is not that bad. I feel like in team fights though, Rel can just completely shit on Rakan. Like, if Rel interrupts one of Rakan's dashes with Rel E, then Rakan is just fucked for, like, the entire fight in a lot of situations. So, I generally just like Rel being picked for FPX. Also, they have Crisp, which is the best Rel player in the world. So, anytime I see FPX with Rel, I assume they're going to be doing pretty well. The Volibear pick early. So, instead of opting into a farm matchup, TN playing Volibear, it's going to be more of a fighting matchup for sure. All right.
Ending up picking the Victor that we expected. Again, it has been doing
Kaisa here on 3. I mean, Kaisa synergizes with Rel well. I just feel like Victor doesn't really match the comp because if you look at like how these champions want to play, all of them can go in, and then the mid laner is kind of just like left to dry here. Okay, so it's gonna be Fladre's Gragas top.
I guess you were looking for a little bit more engaged, right?
Wow. Wait, they actually picked Kiana in game 1? Dude, I didn't watch this. This is fucking crazy. I watched games like 4 and 5.
Most likely in the mid lane.
That's the thing is Scout has been playing this champion quite a bit in the mid lane, so I definitely expected to go towards that role for him. It's a very volatile champion to play though. Yeah. If you fall behind, it can be quite hard.
Set?
DoNB should be able to maybe get some.
Set would be interesting.
Really
I feel like this game is actually going to be really, really cancerous for the Rakan to play.
We also do have Nugri going.
Set's another champion that's annoying for Rakan.
FPX, they are opting into this full-on 5v5 front-to-back team.
So much CC, you can get Art out of your W, in which case you're just like fucked completely.
Bit of burst as well. For the side of EDG, it's going to be way more interesting. They have the opportunity to play out through side lanes later on.
I'm watching Twitch Rivals now. I'm watching Twitch Rivals.
And look for these flanks onto the back line of FPX.
It's such a bold pick to bring out in the series that will define whether you're good enough to make it to the grand final.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, like, to see the LPL team at MSI. I just feel like now that I watch LPL, I'm gonna always be disappointed in the LPL teams at international competition, because generally speaking, man, just from watching last year and seeing the level of their world's teams, like, it's so crazy how much Chinese teams underperform internationally.
That's the thing I love, right? They're coming out the gate swinging, especially on the
Not supporting your bestie helicopter. Yeah, fuck that guy. Jesus. That guy is next level delusional. And he's like just too much of a cloud chaser.
Remember, Kaisa has an ability to reposition and get out of harm's way, so it feels like your only real target is DoMB.
It's Kiana in the game, ladies and gentlemen, to start off this series. EDG versus FPX, our upper bracket semi-final. The winner of this to go to the grand.
Yo, Nasha, thank you for the 50
days for EDG, and
months in a row.
FPX.
Appreciate it.
See who makes it.
You know, 50 months, I'm willing to give VIP. 50 months in a row is a while. Is there nothing to click to just give VIP? There's no button that just gives VIP. You literally have to just type it. What the fuck? What type of jank-ass system was that? I clicked Nacho LL's name. You can add friend, whisper, gift a sub, ban, timeout, mod, permit, purge, timeout, 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 timeout. How did they not put a VIP button? What the fuck?
I actually think he should have a fine time in the early laning phase. One also cool small bit of information, a scout always does this where he starts longsword first, tries to get that early about 4-minute recall off for the serrated dirk and make his way to an early prowler's claw. But in this lane, Kiana's not really much of a chance.
All right, so the Conqueror set, we'll see how this goes. I feel like Kiana would be really hard to play at the Victor, to be honest. Victor normally abuses melee matchups. It actually like does decently well into champions like Yone, Yasuo. Just like Q trading is so OP with Victor early. Okay, JJ's already tilted. He had to waste his auto attack, his empowered tiger stance on the red buff when it was only one hit. GG. That's enough to tilt a neuter player because this champion is so boring to play.
It makes sense for EDG when JJ has been all about duoing with Scout a lot of this year, Lyric.
That's the thing, right? And not even just JJ. Mako typically does a good job of finding his ways into the mid lane as well. DoMB will be constantly pushing, so he will be putting himself in harm's way. We need to see FPX get some nice defensive vision down for him. Well, we've seen the bot side, LWX and Chris, able to come off to a strong start. They hit that level 2 first. Tien started towards the top side and is pathing down. And it seems like they're starting off early on to try and shut down Viper and Mako in that bot lane because that's traditionally been their strong lane all split.
I just love that.
Yeah, just good luck CSing. Good luck CSing Kiana. I mean, this is like the reason why you don't really see Kiana picked in pro play is just the lane phase is just way too hard.
We haven't really seen set into.
Okay, Fladre misses a free CS. What's wrong with this guy?
Building up a CS lead and FPX doing that across the map.
I mean, the thing is, right, it's pretty much a tank versus tank matchup. Sure, Flandre is going to build the AP route most likely, as we always see.
I mean, I think Flandre has to go.
He's going to be able to ignore the damage.
Yeah, AP. I assume it will just be Everfrost. But there are other options. Like, you can still go Night Harvester.
But after that, Flandre should be able to...
I just don't know how good AP Gragas actually is here into this team. It feels like the enemy team is pretty tanky, and they have, like, shields and stuff, so... They have sustain in the form of shields, which means that you're not going to get the same value you normally could get off.
Junglers a little bit closer then and see how their pathing affects these laners. There's a deep board placed by JJ while he's backing away. Actually backing
all right, Volibear, obviously behind in the full clear, but not enough for it to actually be, like, game losing or something.
It is a Scuttle for Scuttle trade here in game number 1. We'll have to track them.
I think this will be really interesting because if the Udyr ends up being like bad in this game, it can affect the Udyr priority for the rest of the series since it was first picked, and yeah, Tien's playing the answer to it. EDG's mentality was to ban out Lilia, and yeah,
might actually see Tien look to influence his
If you ban out Lilia, then it just makes Udyr better. If Hecarim and Lilia are banned, Udyr has no, like, equal, really, in most people's perception of the jungle right now.
Great little face breaker. Now the body slam's used, but the wave crashing into 2 minions. Flandre still hovering around. Tien, level 4 here, going to add a lot of damage with the Sky Splitter.
Damn.
While JJ once again going towards bottom side jungle.
Now you're thinning out the wave a little bit, keeping it here.
And JJ knows this, so give Scout a bit of a reprieve, and Doomby plays it safe.
And let's also remember that Doomby didn't take TP, right? He took Exhaust like you highlighted. So
I mean, I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't need Exhaust in this game if you're Victor. I mean, I guess it's fine, but I feel like really good laners would just take TP.
Gonna have to walk back to lane, already bringing out the Seeker's arm guard as well to get some early armor.
Like, just because it's Kiana doesn't mean you need Exhaust. You could play TP into these types of lanes, and you just play for, yeah, for punishing it more in lane.
He's almost level 6 though, the level that you told me to watch for.
And there's no way Kiana should be CSing this well.
Kiana's adding so much impact.
But Doonby's like early laning on mages has never been his strength.
A lulling early game.
And first item Seekers, I just feel like he's building way too defensive. Exhaust, first item Seekers, he's down in CS to Kiana somehow.
The thing is, they're going to want to continuously look for pressure from mid once we hit the mid game like they're doing now, because even though Scout won't have push pressure, he'll always have kill pressure if jungle is hovering around it.
I mean, Seekers is also nerfed, right? It's not like super good anymore the same way it used to be.
His first purchase is already defensive stats coming out. Rakan's coming around as well.
Yeah, between the wave, there's the stun. They have immovable CC as the flash away.
I mean, that was a really cringe combo from Scout.
In to try and save the day is Tien, Angry Bear, ready for Scout who has no ultimate. He travels with the 3 of them.
Tien?
Should be immense on his side. He has to flash.
Yeah, no, that's a win trade. Also, I'm pretty. Wait.
And wow, Tien did not.
Wait, JJ could have just followed Flash there and killed him. I'm pretty sure.
And wow, immense on his. Ready for Scout who has no ultimate. He travels with the 3 of them, and now the damage should be immense on his side. He has to flash himself.
I mean, I think he's still at his phase rush proc.
And wow,
I don't know.
Does not want to go on that journey.
Cringe combo or a good flash? I mean, it's just a bad combo, to be honest. Slow. Pretty sure it was slow. Let me watch it again. Let's watch it again.
They have defensive stats coming out. Rakan's coming around as well.
Yeah, between the wave, there's they have
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes.
Defensive stats coming out. Rakan's coming around as well.
Yeah, between the wave, there's the stun. They have immovable CC as the flash away from Doomby.
He missed his second Q. Got blocked by minions.
Ready for Scout who has no ultimate. He travels with the 3 of them, and now the damage should be immense on his side. He has to flash himself after Ignite.
JJ decided not to flash there. I wonder if he knew that the bot lane was recalling. Like, he should have known that the bot lane wasn't there yet, that Rel wasn't there yet, but he might have just assumed that Rel was going to be close, and they had already won by getting out all the summoners.
Probably would have been able to find that kill on Doonby. It started out being a trade for summoners, but luckily with Tien trying to come and save the day, ends up with multiple members blasting plant into each other.
Didn't know where Rel was. I feel like he should have, right? Because didn't Rel base on the wave?
Down for mid. Doomby doesn't have one either. Yes.
Also, we see that, Doomby had to back. Looks like Scout's pushing in the wave, so even more gold.
I mean, the Kiana is like way far ahead. Dude, seeing Kiana like up in CS early game just means that, I mean, the champion is fucking insane. The whole problem with Kiana is the lane phase is just so hard. Like, if you try playing, just go into like whatever elo you are and play Kiana into like an Orianna. Next time you see an Orianna, just play Kiana and just try to like play the first 3 levels. It's really not next level.
It's a good thing that they realize that this is where they're going to
Volibear has Nimbus Cloak? Yeah, so does JJ. His Nimbus Cloak matches it. And he has Phase Rush, still not procced.
It's not really about the top side. Nuggery's just chilling up there. He's doing fine. Even in the bot lane, I feel like LWX and Chris.
See, I feel like this is actually a decent strategy to do with me. Like, playing something that exploits one of his weaknesses, which is his early, like, laning is not the best. His early laning is not world class, right? So, I like the approach of, like, picking something that can get through, that, like, is really OP if it gets through early lane. I like that approach versus doing me. I just wonder how many teams in the world are going to be willing to do that. Like, at MSI, if FPX ends up making it, because obviously finals haven't been played, even though they're favorites. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see if if other laners are going to be willing to like pull anything out. Like I can see Showmaker doing it, right? I could probably see Perks doing it. Will Humanoid pull out his Kiana, dude? Humanoid Kiana used to be insane, by the way. Back in the day, Humanoid Kiana was something to be feared.
Very rinse and repeat from FPX. So I like that they keep their eyes on the future.
I mean, it's not going to win you the whole game, but it's definitely like something to consider, something to prep for, potentially an angle to take. I mean, FPX is a team that doesn't show that many weaknesses, right? So any weakness you see, you could probably try to exploit. So for example, Yone, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like Yone, maybe like Echo or something. Yeah, these types of champions.
Look at the map right now. EDG haven't been able to knock down turret plates in any lane. And when you are playing,
Kiana is such a garbage champ, though. I mean, Kiana's fucking disgusting if it gets out of lane phase. It's broken. Next level broken if it gets out of lane phase. Kiana doesn't suck as a champion. It's just the early game is really hard.
The problem for EDG is it's going to be quite tough to find a window or a timing where they're able to rotate numerous members mid.
If Humanoid is back on Kiana, then Armut is on AP carry. That's not happening? No, you can do other stuff. You could put, like, Seraphine bot lane. Carsey could play AP. You could have Jungle playing AP with 80 solo lanes, which is completely fine. Like, you play, like, Lilia jungle with Kiana 80 top, and then, like, a Kaiser or something, and you're probably chilling.
Jungle and mid right now, a very good, strong point for EDG's early game.
Maybe he's not that far ahead. I mean, I would say that EDG's in a good position here. They should be pretty happy with this.
Come up on both sides. Scout very close to his flash. TN and Doinbees won't be too far behind.
Serpent's Fang game, yeah. Serpent's Fang has value here for sure.
Window to punish mid right now before that comes up. So
Serpent's Fang has a lot of value here. I mean, Serpent's Fang is like a busted item, in my opinion.
No more sleeping as a flash chilling.
That's good.
Doinbee in trouble there. Scout's ultimate again. It was a supreme display of talent as he jumps back in with the help of Mako.
Tien has to ulti out.
Doesn't have anything but his ultimate.
Rel is here. Rel with the flash engage. I guess they're going to try to go out to Mako. Oh! Nuggery actually got over the wall. Wait, he didn't. He greeted his combo. He needed to W there insta.
Blows up the early game.
And this is going completely counter to our expectations.
Oh, but 1v1.
Viper wins.
Versus Viper. He flashes away, but
Viper's really good.
And that's
It's really insane.
start our games.
But that's just champion gap, right?
Coming out with a completely dominant
I mean, it's champion gap, and I'm sure that LWX knows it, but I mean, LWX probably assumes that with his items, and like with Viper having cleanse, which is useless in this 1v1, he would be fine. Wait, like, does he really need a cleanse this game? I mean, I guess.
They were looking for high kills as well.
I guess cleanse is fine, yeah. So, I mean, I assume that the 1v1 is taken by LWX because he thinks he has heal advantage.
So it's not as meaningful, but we've seen how much they've been doing as we go into the replay. They go for the expected play.
That didn't even look that clean from Scout, though. And then he W's into the... Wait, Scout's Kiana looks jank as fuck there. What the hell? Let's see.
Ult's going to be on Crisp, so it's not as meaningful, but we've seen how much they've been doing.
Ulti.
They go for the
I mean, he should be able to finish that off himself. Even through exhaust, his mountain WQ kills him. Pretty sure.
So he gets locked down. Crisp coming in from behind to try to find the pick.
Honestly, Mako shouldn't even walk to this wall, though. Even though it ended up working out, like, he shouldn't give the guy the escape.
Started by Viper and LWX. Thought he could outplay it in the end.
Yeah, he goes in with the ultimate, thinks he can win. We see both heals come out, does have to flash into the...
Both heals come out? My guy, don't say... Oh, come on. Lyric, you're better than that.
Does still end up going down to Viper in the end. Still not really an item differential.
Did not see both heals come out because there's only one heal.
Actually an agility cloak for Viper.
Any chance of MSI top 10 player list? I don't know enough about minor regions. I mean, I could do it, but I would literally only include major region players.
Expecting to see Viper with a bit of lead after the kill, but it's also cool to note that LWX with the push in before was able to get a bit of turret plating, so it feels like that's going to be a big difference, or at least an equalizing fact. A small little skill shot there from Nuggery, misses with the face.
He said both ults? Oh, I thought he said both heals came out. Okay, my bad. He is correct then.
And I feel like the setup here is going to be a lot easier with Scout in an advantageous position.
Kiana jungle dead. I don't think it was alive since like mid-season fucking 10. or early season 10.
Call that we highlighted, so they're doing exactly what they should be. He's always going to lean in through mid because of the respect that DoinB has to play in this matchup now. They're going to get vision in the bot side jungle. And again, in about 10 seconds when that dragon is up.
I mean, the Kiana got... Oh my god, the Kiana just was... Kiana was just chilling.
It is a good thing that he
way too hard this game.
In topside to be able to make this play, though.
We know that Set is just strong for the word go as well. So FPX start up the dragon. EDG saying, forget it. We'll lose this one as well. So FPX will start the objective game a little bit earlier and builds with the tempo that we talk about from this team and building towards a neutral objective. That is going to be the Ocean Salt in 2 Dragons' time if they get there.
And the big thing for me is it seems like Viper wanted to recall to get his Kraken Slayer, so now they can force this advantage in the bot lane even more. Because, right, they probably could have contested that dragon. They were strong. They had 2 members with mythics on their side, no mythics on the opposing side.
I mean, doing a top 20 player list is kind of shit for MSI, by the way, because there's only like there's only 20 players that come from major regions anyway, you know.
And EDG are just gonna keep.
So it's not even that interesting. Like if I ignored all the minor region players, then literally there's only 20 players I can put on the list. Like there's no one who I can turn off. Dude, did I just lose it? Wow, holy shit! What's been going on with Twitch recently?
Drops the ward, and here we go. The quickness comes down with a bit of sickness onto LWX. You knew he was dead, chat.
I mean, EDG's snowballing the shit out of this game.
Just about.
And the side of EDG are just making.
I mean, but you rank them, yeah, but it's like not even that interesting.
More EXP and gold denied to LWX. Viper's going to be really close to being able to take down this bot lane turret as well. He's going to be able to push in for free. I like that EDG are rotating the rest of their members towards the mid and top half of the map. So if FPX did want to look for a counterplay on that side, they're not able to. EDG already have multiple members around, and pings are already coming out on the Rift Herald for EDG.
Really smart macro, right? This is what we've talked about with this team as they get the first Heart Blood in the bottom side to Viper. FPX drop a ward. Backing away is crisp for now as Tien's clearing his camps, but just hovering nearby. No one looking at dead in the eye for now, Lyric, and we'll see if after Viper and Mako help push out mid, if that's going to be the...
This game should be clean for EDG. EDG should not lose at any point. I mean, I guess they technically do get outskilled here,
Realistically, they are able to look for this.
but I feel like they... The more I think about it, it's actually not super bad for FPX because FPX has first 2 drinks, so the Ocean Soul win condition is not on the table for EDG. But I think that EDG probably should be able to control Baron. It's like pretty hard to check here. Anyone who walks in, once EDG has control, should be able to get one shot by Tristana, Kiana, Rakan, Udyr. So it's a really hard game to play out, but it's not unwinnable for FPX because they scale.
On Flandre.
We do. I mean, I believe we saw this from EU last night as well here on a support option with Senna for the Gragas. So, haven't seen it on the top lane in the Gragas for now. Flandre bringing it out, man. Remember when he was on
Frost top lane?
so
Yeah, we talked about that.
2 Ps at a pod. So it makes a lot of sense.
Dude, the Kiana is chilling so hard this game.
Yeah, like you said, this is the first one we have in LPL playoffs. We've had Night Harvester and Shirelias already. I like the interesting play coming out from Flandre. So again, looking for more pick potential coming out. Not really about that 1v1 at all. I'll be honest, I don't really know if this is something you need, but it's at this point in the game with this amount of...
Do I like the new jungles? I haven't tried the new jungles yet. I really hope that that's not how they fix the jungle meta. Like, instead of hard nerfing Turbo Chem Tank to the point where it's like just completely out of the meta until they can actually find a way to rework it, instead of doing that, you just buff like random jungles artificially by giving them like extra monster damage and then nerfing Chem Tank by that. Because the reason why I hate those types of buffs is because it only changes the meta for the few champions that receive the buffs. Like, then every other champion is just sitting there like, okay, well, we're just fucked because of it. Like, I would much rather see nerfs for what was super OP than like buffs for things that no one asked for. Like, no one was like, dude, we need to play Darius jungle. We need to play fucking Morgana and Diana jungle. Like, sure, like, it's new junglers to play. That's kind of fun. But in general, I think that the idea misses the point.
But still, for for me, EDG's comp is all about waiting for that next dragon to come up. They have the pressure. They don't need to overforce anything. They could wait and look to play off.
Ryan needs to nerf Hecker Maneuter, but they actually don't need to nerf Hecker Maneuter anymore. Hecker Maneuter are not that strong when they don't build Turbo Chem Tank. It's the item that's broken and the fact that they can abuse the item that is the problem, not the actual champions.
But EDG, a 5-man squad mid only versus 4.
Like, if you play against Hecarim and you're playing high elo and Hecarim builds like Divine Thunder, it's not OP. Oh my god, that flash ult from Scout was horrible.
Doesn't work though, and now Nuguri ready to jump on in, but it's the Prowler's Claw that gets Scout out as Nuguri just runs for his life.
Prowler's Claw. Wait, he didn't use his Prowler's Claw. It was just his E, I think. But
coming out for EDG onto Nuguri. That would have been a really nice.
wait, that wasn't a Prowler's Claw, was it? Okay. All right, 2 people are dead instantly. I mean, they're just fucked. I don't even know why they're contesting this. It's third Drake. I mean, I guess they thought that there was enough ults used, and Kiana would be useless here, but I mean, it just wasn't it.
The 3 versus 3s, Mako goes back in, almost dies though his Scout follows up. Viper's there, rocket jump at the ready, and he's healed up there, Lyric.
He should play it slow. I like that Viper didn't instantly jump in and kill himself here. He's waiting for his teammates to have cooldowns.
Mako suicides. Nuguri gets him in the end. It's Scout versus the top laner. He guns it away, but Nuguri.
Oh no! Such a big fucking throw here. I mean, Viper had really, like, Viper didn't jump in immediately because he knew it'd be doomed. Mako ended up getting hit by, I think, just part of the Kaisa Q and killed. I'm not sure.
Into these front-to-back team fights, because let's remember, there was no flanks or no angles coming in. It was just a groggy body slam that you highlighted. Doonby and LWX largely remained untouched.
Do you think we'll see some Lisa top lane tech? Lisa top lane with Emax actually seems like it could be pretty good. I've been playing with it in my games, and it seems like the players that play it aren't even good at Lee Sin, and they're smurfing, so maybe.
I think JJ was going in, but hey, Lyric, gold is, pretty relevant.
Oh my god. Are we doing it again, Hysterics? Are we doing it again?
I was going to say, but
Back to the Drake. I mean, FPX obviously wants this Drake. It's huge if they get it. Drake 3. Kiana just like trolled the ult, but this is actually so OP for Kiana. Kiana has so much like to ult off of here. Udyr actually stole it. That's huge. Kiana's around the side. It's really big. I like it. Yeah, it was a really, really good Kiana ult. Oh damn, LWX is in there. LWX literally suicides on Kaisa more than any other player. Still, it's not even just like a 2019 Worlds thing. How many times have we seen LWX just fucking run it down, bro? The most egregious one that I remember was the Doonby pentakill. The Doonby pentakill was actually so hilarious.
Like, sure, EDG won, but Carson was stealing objectives left and right. Looks like
Here you go. People don't even talk about it because it's all about Doonby and everyone's focused on him. Just watch LWX in this fight. Just watch LWX. Boom! What's wrong with this guy? This guy needs help. This guy needs help. He is ill.
And he is showing up today.
4 members on the Baron after what was a supreme display of skill from Scout. And EDG in game number 1, a 4K gold lead will balloon. The side lanes we talked about, Lyric, are going to be so easy now as well. This feels like EDG are building off the momentum that we saw against top esports the other day.
Yeah, it's just great to see, and I'm glad we're gonna head into a replay because actually we're getting the first.
I mean, that was a really good body slam from Flandre. That E flash from Flandre was insane. He canceled Rel, and he just like got 2.
That buys room for FPX to be able to come back into this fight. And then this is where it gets a bit dicey, right? Because I can understand why EDG keep pushing forward because you do have a numbers advantage after doing.
I mean, Viper knew here if he jumped, he was fucked. It just sucks that Mako gets killed by the Q before he could double shield.
Beefy, right?
He just gets one shot. Actually, that might have been an auto from LWX because it looked like Q was already going off. The mini map, you can see Nuguri is caught. This actually hasn't been super high quality game.
He's dead. He's dead. Yeah.
He's dead, Master Wayne. Yes, he is. Flash away from Viper. Look at the mid lane. LWX just goes in. Storm bringing the 80 carry from getting hit by the turret, but there's the TP.
Wait, Flodger's here. Wait, this is horrible for EDG.
LWX can't walk in. He's way too low. As Mako's recon engage is good, but Tien still does so much damage.
I mean, maybe Viper can clean it up. He's kind of big. I don't know. This is just really bad from Scout getting caught. He looks uncomfortable on Kiana. Like, bro, put that 2K rated Chinese Kiana from the Super server in this game. I guarantee you he'd smurf. He would completely 1v9 a game like this.
Going down on both sides. Somehow FPX come out with the advantage, though EDG, I think, should be able to take this turret.
That's just like, that's just kind of how being like a one trick works, though. Like, if you're a one trick and you get in a and you were put in a pro game, like in a game where like you're really really good at your one trick and your one trick is good, you definitely outperform a pro player because you just have so much experience on the pick.
In about 17 plays ago. And we're actually going to watch what happened to Nuguri. It was a good flank from JJ. And Mako.
Yeah, ooh, you're right. Just comes around. Mako finds his way in as well.
Viper is huge. I would be a little bit concerned if I was EDG here that it's like, damn, Viper like is this far ahead and our team is still kind of trolling.
And I think, you know,
Feels bad.
EDG commanding lead in this game. I think from all standpoints, from the position there now, they should be able to close this out. But I don't want to discount FPX for the fact that I do feel like EDG's damage will fall off against FPX later in this game. We already highlighted that they've triple frontline. They have a Victor. They have a Kaisa. They're facing an AP Grog.
Is Flandre done after the season? Probably not. He's only like 22, 23, something like that. I don't think Flandre is bad.
You're right. You know that there is
I mean, he laned evenly into a counter pick here with Gragas top, AP Gragas. You don't see him inting on Gragas the same way that you saw, for example, 369 inting on Gragas.
Also with the double dragon as well, it's quite mentionable. Lyric, I want to point out some interesting itemization while we're in a bit of a lull state. We have
Viper only has a 300 gold shutdown. I mean, he died.
How many shield users?
That's why.
1, 2.
He's already died once and given a shutdown once.
Useful item if you scout.
Yeah, and Scout actually goes this in almost every game he plays Kiana in solo queue, even in some compositions where the enemy doesn't really have shields. So Scout having a high opinion of Serpent's Fang, maybe on the
I mean, Serpent's Fang is good here, right? There's literally 4 champions with a shield. Or actually, no, there's actually 5 champions with shields. This is what you start realizing when you build Serpent's Fang more, because like that's one thing that happens.
Will you
is like,
watch LPL Final
oh my
Live?
god.
I need my favorite caster while watching that series.
Yeah, I'll try to watch that live. I'll try to watch Final Live. LPL yeah. LPL Finals will live you it. Anyways, yeah, what I was gonna say was, like, once you start building Serpent's Fang, you start realizing how many shields are actually in the game. Like, every champion in the game has a shield. Like, every champion in the game has a shield. And then there's just, like, random shields, right? Like, almost every single game, like, just go through your match history. Who's somebody... Okay, here. This is what you can do.
Yeah, so they do respect, and you could note the...
Here, this is what you do. Go to UGG, go to your match history. Oh, what the fuck? I decayed out of... Oh, I decayed out of fucking Master Tier. Ah, who cares? Anyways, damn, wait, I really didn't play for 13 days on this account? Whatever, it doesn't matter. This account's been decayed twice now. Alright, let's look at the games. Let's look at the last Hecarim game. How many shields are we playing against? Okay, Bard has Guardian. That's a shield. Bard has Locket. That's another shield. Actually, like, not many shields there. Ryze doesn't have a shield anymore. Okay, let's look at this game. How many shields? No shields at all. Okay, never mind. This is just working terribly. This game, this Volibear game. Riven has a shield. Diana has a shield. Thresh has a shield. And has Guardian and has Locket. This is normally more what I'm seeing, right? Let's check another one. It's like almost every game there's shields on the enemy team. Okay, this game. Poppy has a shield. Lulu has a shield. Lulu has, yeah, I mean, Lulu has a spammable shield. Poppy has a shield. That's already good. Also, Viego can steal, like, fucking Riven ult and then has a shield there as well. Like, that's, like, a decent amount of shields. It's almost every single game the enemy team has a decent amount of shields. Okay, Galio has magic damage shield. Bard has shield and Guardian, Locket, etc. Sion has a shield. That's another game with, like, spammable shields. Like, almost every game, there are shields, right? Okay, this game. And Leona has Locket, which is a shield. Yone has a shield. They have Shield Bow, which is another shield. Also, Yone has Shield Bow, which is another shield. They also have Sterax, which is another shield. Like, my point is there's a lot of shields in this game. Like, you're almost always playing against shield, even when you're not into, like, shielding comps. Okay, here you go. This game, not too many shields. This game is, like, fine. But, like, if you see, there's, like, 3 or more shields in most games. Because you got to remember, like, Locket is popular, Shield Bow is popular, Guardian is popular. All of those count.
Scout was playing right. If FPX decided to walk in, trying to play that angle around Dragon, as JJ looking for the engage, though.
Yes, he is. He goes in. Mako gets a 2-man knockup with the grand entrance as well. But look at Scout on the back end. There it is again.
He gets exhausted there pretty hard. I mean, Scout needs to use his grass element more. That's one thing that you notice when you watch really good Kiana players is they're like stealth the entire time. Like, they're really smart about knowing when to use their grass element to stealth them, so that they're able to get off like more damage, or they're able to like keep their positions on the side of a fight. Look, good little combo there from Viper. I like that.
And FPX are feeling good about this. They get a bit of pressure. They're going to probably look for recalls. They should be sitting on some gold as well. EDG not doing a great job of finding ways to transition their lead. And we need to remember, next Drake's up in 4 minutes. The following one 5 minutes after that. FPX have 2 Drakes.
Does it work against Camille Shield? Yeah, it does. Serpent's Fang works on Camille Shield. It works on Senna Shield. It works on Seraphine Shield. So, I mean, in every game, it's literally just like, yeah, there's just a lot of shields in every game is pretty much my point. So, I mean, I'm just pretty much explaining Serpent's Fang and the value. Like, in this game, every champion has a shield. So, yeah, Set has a shield, Volibear has a shield, Victor has a shield, Kai'Sa has a shield, Rel has a shield. Playing against 5. Like, this is, yeah, this is insane value.
Still EDG with a lot of control, but you can see how FPX can have their say in this game. And we have to also remember that LWX is 3 items strong. So it's not like FPX don't have any resources at all. LWX is showing that he can carry these fights, and he adds a lot of perspective himself. As TN has to run away from the 2-level over Udyr.
What does Serpent's Fang do against shield? It just has increased damage. It has a fuck ton of increased damage into shields. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of Serpent's Fang is like, it's a really cost-efficient item. There's very few items, if you look at them, that have 18 lethality on it, right? Like, if you look at like other items, like how much Edge of Night, lethality. Edge of Night has how much lethality on it?
Even more important, right? Towards this
10?
Hard to get any
Yeah, it has 10 lethality on it. It's like nothing, right? Look at Umbral Glaive. Umbral Glaive has only 12 on it. Ghostblade has a decent amount on it. Ghostblade has 18, but it's 400 gold more expensive than Serpent's Fang. So Serpent's Fang is really cheap and gives you 18 lethality. I mean, once again, EDG looks really poor at fighting with the Kiana. Like, it seems like they don't really play it super well. Collector only has 12 lethality. Sanguine Blade only has 10 lethality, but it goes up based on how many enemy champions are around.
Kiana's not here, though.
5v5 in our red side. But thanks to the leash, Punk and JJ runs yet again. One lead here for the jungler to note if they ever start the Baron. But it doesn't seem like we're going to be talking about that because we just go back towards mid and finally we calm down a little bit.
The thing is, FPX did such a good job of controlling vision on their flanks like you highlighted, right? We see the one ward on the right side of our screen in the blue side jungle. We saw the ward that Tan was engaging over next to the Raptor pit, and there was even one in that mid lane corridor in front of the Raptor pit, in front of the mid lane river brush as well. So any angle that Scout could have showed on, FPX had covered, and that's how we saw that like pseudo engage come out from FPX where they tried to turn on.
Serpent's Fang doesn't do that anymore. It does do that. It just does it differently, but yeah, it does it.
What they've been doing in playoffs as well, they've been very good at, I guess, countering the plans of their enemy.
It reduces shields that somebody gains for the duration of the Venom when you apply it. But if they're already affected by the Venom, then it reduces the active shields for the same amount. So like champions, like if you hit somebody multiple times, it should work.
A death doesn't really matter, and if you can force an enemy into a certain position on the map and maybe get tempo on the opposite side, it is actually okay or even slightly beneficial to die in those positions. And that's something I think FPX actually understand very well.
Yeah, and a team that has been ramping up to this point. Remember, they lost Bo, they had Beichuan, and Tien pretty much came in solidly towards playoffs. Might have to pause that. It's 30 minutes in. FPX have a fast Baron that...
Thoughts on Tabbies on Viper? I actually think it's okay.
They're going to start it up with full vision. EDG are a bit far away.
I mean, it's really scary doing this versus Kiana. I feel like this is bad from FPX. Just because, like, Scout could get such a monster ult. I mean, look at the Kiana. Look at the ulti, man. It's just too big. Viper is out of the fight. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He survived enough. That's just an end angle. I mean, FPX went for the desperation Baron because they thought that they probably lost the game either way, but getting into the pit versus Kiana is it's just unplayable. I mean, I like the Kiana pick because it's different, but it's obvious that Scout, like, is not super comfortable on it, so. Maybe it just means that we see less blind pick victors from Doonby. Tien got out smited again. Doesn't matter here. Even if he gets a smite and gets Baron, all 5 of them die and the game ends. So, yeah. The team fight matters way more than the actual Baron here. Okay, let's go watch on Epic Skill Shot for game 2.
For sure, we've only seen LWX play center.
Ladies and gentlemen, but trust me, drafts are going to get interesting. As EDG, you mentioned, it's jungle.
New Rammus will make him meta. I haven't actually tried Rammus. Okay, we'll look at draft here. So I like this. This is what I've been preaching, dude. I am the fucking Senna Tom Kench salesman. If the enemy team blinds Alistar or Rel first 2, just Senna Tom Kench it every fucking time if it's up. Like, Senna Tom Kench just shits on this lane. It's just broken. If the enemy team picks it engage support. And here we see engage support. Boom. Senna Tom Kench. All right, so Senna Tom Kench early. EDG going with the Volibear. It seems like teams are pretty comfortable going with Volibear into Hecarim. Normally, people like Lilia more than Volibear into Udyr, but people like Volibear more than Lilia into Hecarim because Hecarim can kind of just close distance and like burn Lilia's flash pretty easily. Also, it forces Lilia to go Zanya's early a lot of the time to be able to withstand the Hecarim jumping on him, which then, yeah, inhibits your build to some degree. Doonby with the Kali here, interesting. And the Set blind pick. I'm surprised that Set is getting blind picked here. Renekton is banned. Maybe they think that it's just good into Flandre specifically. I mean, obviously, Set has a bunch of matchups that are pretty hard. So, yeah, we'd have to see, like, if people are countering it. I mean, honestly, they could have sent the Volibear top into Set. Actually, I'm not sure how that matchup is now. I know that used to be a good matchup for Volibear. But it looks like they're just going with the Volibear jungle and Gragas top again. Alright, so Akali into Orianna. This should be a pretty hard matchup for Akali for Doonby here. Normally, melee mids just suck into Orianna. You just get absolutely abused. Especially now with the changes to Akali. Akali is a lot less tanky early game than she used to be. So late phase is going to be extremely difficult here, but I do like the Senna Tom Kench into the Trist Rel. I think that's an advantage for sure.
For everyone out there, 7 appearances in the history of EDG's organization in an LPL Grand Final with 5 championships obtained. That's right, 7 appearances, 5 champions. That's a pretty good hit rate, really.
Definitely is, and you know, we're gonna see a more stock and standard EDG than what we saw last game. I think Scout is a phenomenal flanker, phenomenal assassin and bruiser player, but gonna go back to this control mage, gonna go back to a more traditional front-to-back teamfight style. Roles are gonna reverse. We're gonna see FPX want to put more pressure up towards the top side of the map.
Your streams suck. I mean, if you don't like the stream, you can just watch a different stream. That's just like an option to you.
So, no, at least if you're going by those stats, it doesn't bode too well. We do see him pick up the fleet footwork because, as we stated, Akali's always been a champion that in the early laning phase hasn't been too good. She did receive some changes on this patch, lost some base health, got some HP growth. Her W now increases her max energy by 80 like permanently. So there are some good options there later on though. So gonna be interesting to see how DoomB navigates this champion.
No, I mean, like, it makes sense, right? Like, people like that, like, I go through his fucking comment history, and he's just so fucking stupid he can't even read the items. He's like, why do you go this item? What does it do here? Like, that's literally every other time that this guy's typed in my chat. So, like, obviously any type of, like, analysis is just beyond him, because he himself can't even figure out, like, basic fucking reading within the game.
But Lyric, I want to talk more about these
Happens.
and how FPX might interact because
It's okay, man. I'm sure that your parents are really proud of you.
using vision to gain
You spent all your time on League of Legends, and instead of having a career out of it, you ended up gold 4. Congrats. Appreciate it.
That's the thing, right? It'd be nice if at the level 6 mark we can see Tien try to punish Scout in the mid lane. Even if you don't find a kill, at least burn the flash. And then potentially Viper, though.
Goddamn Viper, what the fuck was that?
He's gonna get punished for this.
Oh,
It's level
God.
1 versus level 2. The flash.
The fuck did Viper just do? That's such like a mistake that you never see from Viper, honestly.
He flashes into the brush, and that was
Viper,
not
Viper just ended so hard. He never does this shit.
That's the thing, right?
Did he not get his explosive shot off, or like was it just not up?
Scout in the mid lane. Even if you don't find a kill, at least burn the flash. And then potentially Viper, though, Wing in.
I mean, he definitely needs to like keep on autoing there.
level 1 versus level
He has to keep on autoing LWX and get his jump reset. He has to keep on autoing.
He now hits 2. He flashes into the brush, and that was just not Viper's move. As Mako now left out, he remounts to get the slow up, but Chris follows him, licks
Goddamn.
him one more time, and that just goes to show you Tom Kench is a beast, even at a level disadvantage.
Dom, this is the wrong game. How is this the wrong game?
This was not Viper's move because they are the ones who initiated.
What's wrong with this
not
game?
expecting,
How is this the wrong game?
You know, Crisp and LWX's damage output. We see him getting the stacks down on Viper.
No, there's no way it's a misclick. I mean, clearly he meant to jump in because he was level 1 to level 2.
Able to finish off that kill.
But
And I feel like
Yeah, you
this
had
is
to keep
great
on
for
autoing.
FPX. When we highlighted, hey, they're probably not going to be the team that plays around their bot side. They definitely want to play more around top. We see the rocket
1,
jump
2.
come out. They're just a bit too close to turret. He does take a lot of punishment as well. Not able to abuse the fact that they have that, you know, large minion wave coming in as well. At this point, LWX just able to easily follow this one up, walks forward, gets the auto, they finish off that kill.
Dom, this is the wrong game. This is the semifinals, not the finals. This is the winner. I'm just banning you because you're too fucking stupid to figure out the difference between winner bracket, finals, and actual grand finals. All good, all good.
First blood. He has a pickaxe, Lyric. There is a pickaxe in this lane, and this is meant to be a pretty calm lane phase.
And that might change the dynamic of what FPX do. Because going back to my point earlier...
Chat doesn't understand the term winners finals. Yeah, people are just too fucking stupid these days to like know. Dude, that's my #1 trigger. Like, this is what I hate about solo queue. I hate when people correct you when you're not even wrong. Like, I'm completely fine being corrected when I'm wrong. Like, I actually appreciate that. If I'm wrong about something, correct me so that I know what I fucked up and then I won't fuck it up again. I just hate being corrected when I'm right. That's super annoying to me. I feel like that's what solo queue is in a nutshell.
With no summoners on Viper.
And we have to remember that LWX and Chris, to add an extra layer as well, right? This bottom lane has global potential, so if you're talking about a Fed 2v2, they can influence the other lanes from their...
Good trade from Nuggery there. Too bad his jungler isn't close enough to dive.
And that's exactly why you would expect FPX to look for these plays around mid, you know, maybe have Tom Kench.
To be fair, not everyone in the chat is a native English speaker. I'm not saying anything about that. What? But like, that'd be really weird, right? Like, if you're not a native English speaker and I am a native English speaker, correcting me on my English would be pretty strange, right? It'd be the same as if I corrected somebody on their Spanish and it's like, wait, but you're not a native Spanish speaker.
Thrives a lot better. He also has tankier targets to pick from with the Volley Bear coming out to look for that showstopper and prevent members from EDG to coming on their team.
Whatever.
And it also gives DoomB a dive buddy when he does go in onto EDG's backline.
That's right, and you know, Tien will be sure to follow up or at least be one of the first people in alongside them too. So it's exciting to look at the prospects of an FPX fight. They are back onto the Rift.
Okay, FPX starts up the Drake. I mean, they're like, DoomB just at 6. Because DoomB was second on the wave, obviously, because Orianna is, stronger.
First objective will go over to Fun Plus Phoenix, who have a 700 gold lead at 6 minutes in the game.
And I like that you highlight that Tien's going to be part of
they're just asking if the game is wrong, not ordering you to
FPX had one game that stands out in my mind. It was the game against JDG.
Not ordering you to change it. Wait, they literally were. It was literally an all caps message. It was literally an all caps message. Dom, you're watching the wrong game. All caps. They're not like, are you sure this is the right game? Like, don't fucking try to like save these dumbasses.
Yeah, this is turning into a bit
Actually,
of a
this might backfire.
No, it could be Flash. Oh wait, that was not what Nuggery wanted. Doesn't he want Flash? Flash E there?
Bro, what do we do from here?
Wait, hold on. Did he not have his E? Did Nuggery still not have his E? Because I feel like he wanted to Flash E into ulti him back. Alright, I want to see Nuggery's E usage here. Shouldn't he should Flash E and then ulti him back? Oh my god, that's so bad.
Flandre flashes away, and Doomy's now up here saying, bro, what do we do from here?
Yeah, that was pretty grief from Nuggery. It's really grief from Nuggery there.
Catches Doomy as well as killing Nuggery. Out with the shuriken flip, and Tien has to recover the situation. The assassin's mark over the wall. Doomy's already out of the fight. Tien to clean it up. One more from Scout.
Yeah, that was just botched mechanically from FPX. Wow, that looks bad.
Gets him out to safety, and EDG slap back when FPX go in their face.
The plays we're talking about for FPX don't matter if they're not able to find the advantages. Nuggery just going a bit too far with that showstopper, in my opinion. It doesn't even matter that Flandre flashed. I don't think they would have been able to kill Flandre regardless. Scout was already keeping up. JJ was already waiting.
What are my thoughts on the Kali pick?
Saying not everyone is a logical fallacy. It's called no true Scotsman. It's used by people who have no brains.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't even care about the logical fallacy of somebody saying not everyone is a English speaker. That's actually a really good flash from Scout, though. That was actually a really good flash from Scout now that I rewatch it. Most people wouldn't flash the Hecarim ulti point blank. It literally saved them.
The bottom lane, look at the damage coming out. More trading there, but not fighting. As EDG had something back in this early game after it went so wrong in the bottom side. And Lyric, now that these solo lanes are in a better position, right? We already saw Gragas fall down in CS, but we know that Flandre in this position, we know that Scout in this position can do a lot of work. So it does feel like EDG have an equal path to play through. As JJ's now in the bottom lane. That's an all-in. Crisp flashing away. There goes Mako. That's a two-man crash.
Good play from EDG.
As Viper gets the reset, jumps back out.
Yeah, really well played from EDG there.
Tempo is in their favor.
I mean, we've seen a lot of misplays, though, this series. We've seen definitely more misplays in this series than in the last series we watched.
For the E, but like you said, really nice crash on coming out from Mako. JJ able to follow it up with his ultimate as well. And this is what feels really good for EDG, right? Is initially we saw this weird thing where both teams ended up losing and making mistakes on their strong side. But now EDG not only find those kills in top side, they're now pushing their bot lane.
I mean, it's not that bad for FPX, though. Like, even though they died here, it's actually not that bad, everything considered. Because they have Drake, and they got Herald here, so they have, like, an artificial gold lead. I feel like they scale completely okay in this game. Set of scales well, and then the one thing I like here is that the comp is, like, thematic in a way. You have 3 champions that are good at going together, Akali, Hecarim, and Set, and then you have a Senna ulti on top to give them shields while they all go in. So Senna can actually support from long range. Okay, good. That's actually a much harder Hecarim play to hit, by the way. Like that E ulti on a phased rush target to maximize your pushback because he's feared is actually harder than it looks on Hecarim. Like, you can botch that shit easily.
Because Dwinby is the focal point of this composition. I feel like him and Tien are the ones who need to be doing most of the work in these skirmishes.
I don't like the Herald here. Yeah, I don't like the Herald here. I think that you can get the turret either way without the Herald, which we are seeing right now. You can get the turret either way without the Herald, and you could have used the Herald for plates mid. Yeah, I really dislike this Herald. This is a really bad Herald. Oh, no FPX. You're better than this.
There you go. You know, finally gets the charge. Obviously, you don't want your mother beating down turrets, but at the end of the day,
FPX is so much better than this. I mean, they're choking the series for sure.
Tien hovering around the wings. They're gonna kill Flandre again.
I mean, these are good plays, right? Like, being able to, like, punish weak side and stuff, like, this is good stuff. But yeah, I mean, the overall play I just didn't like.
Shockwave.
He overstayed.
Nuggery just overstays trying to grid the Demolish proc to finish the turret.
To try to take down the inner turret.
This is a worse quality series than people have made it seem
Right
to
now,
me.
just, you know, solely doing a good job of staying in this by punishing the mistakes coming out from FPX. FPX do have a 1.3k gold lead, but this should equal out to a dragon for the side of EDG, as we already see Mako and JJ heading.
It's not as bad as NA was for the first couple games, but it's worse than what LPL level normally is.
1,000 in the lead for FPX, and I do like the response.
Why do I think it's a bad Herald? Because they get the turret either way, so they're getting the plates no matter what. Set can pretty much solo kill the turret, right? Like the Herald didn't even really need to crash there. And they could have heralded mid for more plays, so you can just use your Herald to actually gain money. Essentially, the only thing that you're gaining from this Herald is the charge on the tier 2, which, like, who the fuck cares about dropping, like, half the health off of tier 2? It doesn't matter. Like, you should be playing to maximize your gold lead in the early game, so you should be dropping Herald mid here, or bot. That's both are fine. Wherever you think you can maximize the gold income.
I'm totally wrong, Asterix, but the most interesting thing about Flandre to me right now is he's a bomby sync. And honestly, when it comes to Flandre, I honestly have no idea what he's going to build. You know, we could see the Turbo Chem tank come out.
Sure.
He could serve as a pseudo initiator.
Isn't Herald top just generally worse?
Because
No, it's not generally worse. Depends on what type of top laners you're playing. If you're playing carry top, you're playing like a top laner that can gain pressure that needs gold to hit a certain spike, dropping Herald top can be really good. Like, let's say, like, this is one thing that LPL teams generally do pretty well, is if they play with something like a Jace, they play with like a Quinn top into Renekton, they play with like a Tristana top for like Jiahu or something, they're much more willing to drop Herald top, and Herald top works a lot of the time, you know? Yeah, Herald top works. That's actually a really good invade onto red buff here. They invade onto red knowing that the Volibear ulted to kill Nuggery top. So they're actually, a lot of these plays are off cooldowns being down, which I like. It's just that, like, there's been mistakes along the way here.
In a like horrible position coming out, but
Isn't killing top turret punishable by a freeze? It is punishable by a freeze. Like, Flandre can freeze, but if you see what FPX is doing, they're not going to let him freeze. Like, the way that FPX is playing is they're still playing through top, right? So they're going to make it so that if you try to freeze that, you're losing your whole topside jungle, which makes the freeze not worth, or they're going to just kill your jungler in your topside. So, like, they're not actually allowing for a freeze in this game. Like, if you're strong enough that you can just, like, take any fight and you can just 2v2 deep in the enemy team's jungle, then, yeah, the freeze is not viable because you can't hold the freeze. No freezing in LPL. They freeze in LPL. They definitely freeze in LPL. It's just hard to freeze here.
Yeah, they've done a good job of punishing around that top side, but going back to what FPX are able to do with this side lane, right, is Set's not a champion who's going to push all the way up
Good
to
one.
the turret and be able to hit that one freely, so it's pretty much just about pushing up your top wave, stealing enemy Krugs, stealing enemy Raptors, constantly hovering around mid, and even if you don't make a gank on mid, right, just the lack of knowledge from Scout about where Nuggery is means he has to
essentially, like,
more safely.
if you're stronger, you have to let the enemy freeze. That's the thing that people don't understand, I think. Like, if you're a stronger top laner, right, and you walk the top, and the enemy jungler can't be there, like, you can force the guy to break his freeze. You can crash your wave and then let it push back. Cannon wave. So I think that, like, in LPL, they're much better about, like punishing the freeze, either by bringing their top laner elsewhere and, like, forcing plays, or by actually just contesting on the same side, which is something we don't see a lot in other regions. I don't like this play. Oh, wow, they actually end up... Oh, they actually timed it. Wait, Volibear wasn't even on a ward, I don't think. They're really lucky that Volibear completed that recall there. I guess maybe they could have done it either way, or they could have probably disengaged it either way, but... yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Out to another Herald for the side of FPX to grow their gold lead. And honestly, Asterix, I'm just happy that we're potentially getting another series that could go the distance like yesterday.
Yeah, because FPX is showing up so competitive in this game number 2. It's a 3k gold lead at 50 minutes. And look, you talked about Nuggery.
So the game, like, in the first 8 minutes was pretty bad. After the first 8 minutes, it's been pretty good. And look at Nuggery, dude. He actually goes deep to crash his wave.
And EDG EDG have no control.
He understands that freezing is a possibility. He's not going to let the Gragas freeze.
No, they don't. But you know,
He'll honestly just suicide to crash that wave at this point.
So this is gonna put TN only further ahead, right? Less available gold for JJ on the map. Also, an update on the Gragas. We do see him going towards the Frostfire Gauntlet. Gragas did used to pick this up a few months ago, but again, I don't really see the potential value coming with this item with the way that...
Okay, so Dragon at 17 seconds. Honestly, this is a pretty interesting Dragon. I think that EDG should probably give it, though. I mean, the problem here now is that, like, with the current game state, I don't really know what timer EDG wins on. Like, they might win super late, but it's pretty hard for them to fight in the mid game versus an Akali that's strong, plus a Hecarim, plus a Set. Like, they only have 2 real damage sources, right? Like, on this comp, they have 2 damage sources, Orianna and Tristana, and they're gonna get dove to shit. Like, the fucking Hecarim, Akali, and Set are just gonna dive this Tristana Orianna, and it's really hard for EDG to peel them.
Considering that game number 1 was about pulling the trigger on a Baron. Game number 2...
Hecarim always out CSing Volibear and LPL. Yeah, it should always out CS the volley. It's just how the matchup works.
It's nice to see that FPX have fine-tuned themselves for the following game in this series.
Maybe if they get a good Orianna ult with Rel combo. I mean, it's pretty hard to get an Orianna ult onto Rel combo. Like, you're playing against a team that doesn't have very immobile, like, they don't have many immobile champions that are going to get hit by that Ori Rel combo that are going to be grouped up. And then there's also a Tom Kench to eat the Senna, who's the only immobile champion. Like, it's really hard to get an Orianna Rel combo when you're playing against this much mobility. Doesn't have the same potency as, like, when you're playing into a bunch of immobile champions yourself.
FPX is stronger than you right now. Avoid them. Go get gold on the opposite side of the map. Send the rest of the members to try to counteract this play by FPX. Nuggery!
Yeah, the stride breaker goes in. He's like, hey, come at me, bro. You know, that guy in the gym? He's looking at himself in the mirror. And he wants you to wants to work out, and he wants you to watch him. It feels like Nuggery's that kind of guy right now, almost towards that second item. And after that little confrontation, everyone backs off, but it is FPX once again who pick up the turret. And you mentioned the response to the top lane from Viper.
I just can't get over what? Who goes to the gym, looks at themselves in the mirror, and thinks, "Yeah, I want other people to watch me work out."
I don't know if it's just in Australia. But
How's Akali able to land into Orianna? I mean, it's just the same thing that people always do, right? Fleet footwork, second win, Doran shield.
Didn't work out too much.
Get all 3, and then you play in your shroud.
Not something to be proud of. People will look at me and say,
"Hey Dom, you're great and handsome." Hey, thank you.
Really great.
Appreciate that.
I'm getting old.
Yeah. It does.
How do you rank the 4 major regions by only their top team?
Your life choices.
I mean, we'll have to see at MSI, right? Like, it's really hard to compare Dom 1 to, like, potentially FPX, like, assuming FPX ends up winning finals. It's really hard to compare them because Dom 1 doesn't look that good, and the quality of competition isn't that equal. Honestly, like, based off my eye test, I would say that FPX in general look better. Oh, this is actually doomed for EDG. EDG are gonna lose this hard. I think the problem here is that they're too split up. So, like, even if Tien dies here, like, they're getting flanked from all these sides. They have to use so many escapes just to get away from the Hecarim that, like, once the Akali joins, it's just doomed.
Viper wants to escape, but is Nuggery gonna let him? No way, Jose.
Yeah, I mean, the fight was just constructed way too poorly. This is actually something you can see a lot better in LPL because, like, this type of fight, if you ever have carries get flanked for no reason and EDG doesn't keep their formation, they're absolutely fucked. So, like, in comps like this, the Tristana Orianna comp, they need to have, like, a proper formation where their tanks are in front of them and they aren't getting flanked, which is why it's really difficult to execute this type of comp, is because, like, when you get into, like, a dragon or you get into a Baron, there's so many different flank angles. Here, they're going with this red buff, but as soon as you see Tien start forcing around the side, on EDG, they just have to use too much to get away from the initial engage that eventually the Set and the Akali coming in are going to be able to finish everyone off.
So, FPX definitely in a position where they can fight this.
Like, the fact that they have to use, like, Everfrost, Body Slam, they use Gragas ult there, it ends up missing. Then they Rel ult. They flash Rel ult to try to kill Tien. Then they... wow, that was actually really good by Doonby. Oh, wait. Wait, what happened here? Oh, no, the Buster shot. Wait, it wasn't even good by Doonby. I thought he R'd out, but he actually got... Buster shotted out of the Orianna ult. I mean, it's really hard, though. It's so hard for them to play at this point.
Viper wants to escape, but is Nuggery gonna let him? No way, Jose. As Chris was eating dinner and EDG for dessert.
He did dodge the Oriole. He got Buster Shotted out. Either way, I don't think he dies in the Oriole because he already had his Shroud down. So, like, they won't be able to do damage to him during the Oriole to kill him.
Just run in, shut them down, and there was that diving buddy into Winby that we talked about. You get 4 kills, you're going to be able to turn this into a mid lane turret. You're going to deny more of Jeje's jungle. He has not been getting to farm anything between Nuguri and Tien, taking away all his camps, and they're just pushing this advantage further to a 5k gold lead.
This is the FPX we wanted to show up. The early game is there.
I mean, this is so hard.
I'm getting hungry for seafood after watching this play, Lyric, because Tien...
Like this, the phase rush, Hecarim. Good luck trying to ult that shit.
Up now. We see the showstopper come out. We see the face breaker to follow. Dwinby's in there as well. Jeje's kept at bay on
just a full ace.
Already low, and
Actually, no, Gragas lived.
Easy time cleaning this up.
I'm willing to say this game number 2, Lyric, it's not top diff, it's raccoon diff this time around. Double kill over to Nuguri. 2, 2, and 3 as we're back to another fight. Mako caught out.
Wait, raccoon diff? I don't get it.
Tien follows over.
Is that what Nuguri means?
Now
Does it mean raccoon?
Yet again to punch on down. The One Punch Man grew some hair and a hell of a lot more abs. As the Everfrost good, the Shockwave as well to disengage. But look, Viper wishing he wasn't here. He rocket jumps, but it's to his death. 11 to 5, and this one's going to an even series.
That's the thing, right? FPX going to be able to turn this easily into a Baron. Flandre realizes, hey, there's really nothing I can do for you guys here. I'm going to keep pushing in bot lane and at least try to get some gold back on the map. Try to deny FPX somewhere.
Means
but
raccoon
honestly,
dog? What the fuck?
In the game, FPX are so far ahead. They are completely fine losing waves in EXP bot side to get this Baron. And guess what?
Yeah, game's over.
Come out. Dragon's up in 30 seconds. FPX are going to be able to make
It's a comp diff here.
Get more ability haste towards those ults.
Not enough peel for Orianna Trist.
Baron makes it about 6,000 gold, ladies and gentlemen.
There's just not enough, yeah, there's just not enough peel. It's possible to play the game.
Come out of a replay into another one where it's all on Mako.
Viper had enough.
Yeah, just goes too far forward.
I mean, we can see.
Down 10, easily able to follow up with the ultimate. Keeps running in. JJ also was pushing in that wave.
I mean, Viper is cut off. What do you mean? There's nothing Viper can do here. Send a top catcher behind. What can he do?
Like the Ludens or the Leandries. I think he went this route because he did end up falling behind. Is able to escape in the end, but still FPX pick up one more kill.
Viper inting? Yeah, he's inting. He definitely would have lived with 5 people chasing him with his only exit being cut off without flash, without cleanse.
Look at the mobility.
Yes.
2 items on
It was definitely livable.
A bit of a delay on LWX, but it might not matter as with the Baron buff.
Unironically, that was the best thing he could have possibly done. To try to somehow burst the Hecarim. Serpent's Fang be good on Viper this game? No, you can't go Serpent's Fang on AD normally.
I also just feel like EDG don't deal enough damage to deal with FPX anytime soon, right? We just highlighted the Everfrost route coming out from Scout. Sure, Viper's sitting on 2 items, but Flandre went tank this time around. You have tanks in your other 2 roles. You have a frontline in Nuguri and Tien. You have a ton of sustain coming out across all members. You have the Devour coming out from Crisp as well. So I think any fight, EDG really don't
in card games, we have a concept where we call a meta solved in the sense that we believe we have found the best possible meta decks, and all that can be done is refining and tweaking those builds. How close do you think any league meta gets to getting solved in regards to drafts and builds? I think not even close to getting solved. But it's the difference between, like, so I'm not sure how it is in all card games, but I know for Magic, there's just more time between sets. Like maybe a set will come out every 3 months or 6 months or something like that, right? The problem with League is that patches happen every 2 weeks. So it's so hard to get close, and there's so many different champions, right? So not only are there a huge amount of champions, there's a huge amount of items, and there's so many like different parts that are moving. The game also gets patched so fast that you never actually get close to solving a meta. Which is something that's like interesting to consider. Like, what would happen to League of Legends if they decided to like delay patches? Because I'm sure that, like, if you had everything on patch 11.8, let's say you had MSI on 11.8, 11.9, and then you kept that patch until the end of summer, I guarantee you MSI would have different comps being played and being considered like the most optimal comps than at the end of summer. Because there's so much to learn. Like, there's so much to learn, and then there's so much to like refine, and then part of it is like being able to play with the champions that also like become good through the patches. Like, can your team, like, does your team understand what the champion's capable of, and can they play with it?
You know, it's kind of funny that we're even talking about lack of vision, because even though that is like right in a traditional sense, FPX are also just so far ahead, right?
It'd be boring probably. Well, the thing is, like, this is a skill that's not that important to League of Legends players. Is like thinking really far outside of the box and like refining the current meta. It's not something that people put that much time into, because like, unless you're going to Worlds or you're going to like a tournament where you're playing a long time on one patch, it feels relatively useless to do it. League is a game where it's more about just adaptation and playing what's broken than it is about like trying to like find solutions to what is super, super OP. Like, every now and then, if you can find, it's super valuable to be able to find solutions, but it's just like, generally speaking, in a team environment, it's pretty hard to do it because of limited amount of practice. Like, yeah, and the fact that there's so much stuff going on at the same time.
I think they will be able to, because they should be able to threaten dives. But realistically, I feel like the only objective that like hard will lose.
Like, if you think about League, right? Like, imagine you're going into a practice environment, right? How many things can you practice at the same time in one game without just making the scrim useless? That's like the hard part. So like, let's say you want to try one certain thing. You're like, okay, we want to try counters to Hecarim this series, right? We want to try counters to Hecarim this series. We also want to try like counter picks to Gnar in the same series. Like, if you start doing this type of thing where you're giving like the enemy all these strong champs and then you're playing like a bunch of champs that are all unfamiliar at the same time, it becomes like useless, because there's so many things going on that it's hard to like pinpoint and you know, like really be able to perform on the picks that you're playing. So like, it's really difficult. You kind of have to decide like, what is the most important thing for us to do this scrim set? Are we trying Gnar counter picks, or are we trying like Hecarim counter picks?
There's no straggler in a side lane trying to path greedily through their jungle.
Like, you don't want to increase the variables. It's like when you're doing an experiment in science, right? Like, how many variables can you have? You can have like one variable and then like a control. Now imagine if you're trying to do an experiment and then you have like 8 variables and like 2 controls. How the fuck are you gonna know what the comparison is between them? There's just too much going on.
Come up as well. See if EDG want to contest that, or if they're not worried about FPX, you know, again, sieging the base that you told me there was a lack thereof.
That's the thing, is they do have to worry about Baron more than Soul in my mind, because that is when I do believe.
Do you think League teams should get pro card game players as coaches for drafting and shit? Probably not. Like, it's good to have that type of mindset, but I don't think you need to be a pro card game player. Because the thing is, like, also League is constantly changing, so yeah, it's really hard to like. Yeah, I mean, and it's also, you're constrained by players.
And the camera's gonna go there in a second, Lyric. Just wait. We know.
Like, I'm sure that, you know, if like, let's say you have FPX as players, it's way easier to draft than if you have Golden Guardians players, right? Like, there's gonna be things that are super good that like a pro card game player would be able to like, you know, explain to you, that is not going to be viable within the context of what players' strengths are and like how good they are, like, in general, you know? Like, if you have a pro card game player, this fight is over. Once again, wow, that actually wasn't even a good engage by Tien at all. He didn't even ult. He just fucking trolled it. I like the flank, though. I think the flank is really nice there. The flank from Tien is something that he does super well, but yeah, I mean, he just ran it down. He didn't ult. But yeah, like, let's say you have a pro card game player drafting for Golden Guardians, and they're like, oh, like, here are all the different counters and all the things that work well. It's like, oh, we have like a Braum support, we have a tanky jungler, you know, we have an AP mid, and the enemy team blind picked Gnar. This is a great Lucian top game. Lucian made it through the draft, and then you have Niles playing Lucian into like, and like the enemy jungler playing Volibear and top laner playing Gnar. Like, you have Alfari on Gnar and fucking Santorin on Volibear, and you put Niles as Lucian top. It could be like the best like 5-head card game counter in the fucking world. He's probably going to run it down and get killed 150 times anyway. I mean, he got CC locked way harder than he expected. But yeah, this is past the part of the game where you're actually tanky as a tank.
uses the haymaker, takes down Mako. They're not able to follow up on the exchange, despite the fact that Doonby was able to get his E onto Jin.
So it's not like it's not like if you have like a pro card game player and like let's say you're playing like Hearthstone or like let's say you're playing Magic, right? And you're like, I have like a red deck. You don't actually have. It's like when you have a red deck in Magic, but you haven't unlocked all the cards in Arena yet. Okay. JJ tried to smited way too early. Like it's like you don't have enough of your fucking wild cards to actually build your deck. You don't actually have enough to like buy the most expensive cards. So you're playing with like the starter deck. You're playing with the starter red deck.
And try to pick up the rest of those kills that you're looking for.
Okay, run it through mid, look at the death timer onto Jedge, and now the tempo begins. Onto Flandre, that's a good little setup with the body.
Viper got one shot by LWX there.
Lightning, or whatever that
Sen is pretty broken.
A bit of light lyric, as it's dark there for Jedge, it's dark for Viper, and now Mako. Everything falling down, and you know, that may not be the cleanest call, but this will be a clean ending.
Yep, we're gonna see Nugri.
Pretty much what pro league teams have got to is they've gotten to the point where people think that it's more about like
fighting back against each other once again.
kind of like you know what Nelson said on the Crackdown where he was like it's mainly about like you play out your games and then you try to like reverse engineer what happens in the game and you try to just refine like what you're playing. That seems like the point where the top teams in the world have like thought that there's the most value. Instead of having like the widest champion pools and having like the most amount of counters available to them, being able to refine what they believe is like already strong is going to provide them more value in terms of like just winning like championships and things like that. So yeah, I mean the game was pretty over for a while, so we just started talking about like some theoretical stuff, but I don't mind doing it sometimes. Flip games and reverse engineer the flip, yeah, pretty much. Center broken when you're gifted first blood level 1. Honestly, I don't think that like changed the game that much. Like I think that even if the Senna didn't get a free kill, it's still super valuable in that situation. You can see FPX banning Tom Kench on red side. So the reason they banned Tom Kench is they perceive Tom Kench as a counter to the engage supports that they want to play. So what they're trying to do, when I see this Tom Kench ban, to me, they're saying that they want Crisp to play Rel. Crisp is not one of those players that oh, wow, they actually banned Rel here, so I guess they didn't want to play Rel. So Crisp seems like one of those players where he doesn't actually care about like the other counter picks. Like he'll play Rel and Alistar all day. He just doesn't want to play it into something that like hard counters him. The soft counters he's fine with.
On an island, they're not playing on the top side. They will early on.
Why do you think it took League 8 seasons to find out the funnel strat, which is literally the meta in Dota? Yeah, because of like how the game normally operates and because of like, I mean, you saw what happened, right? It's almost not even worth it to spend so much time finding these unique strategies, because if you do find a unique strategy, you get like one match win off of it or like one game win off of it, right? Like you could spend hundreds of hours finding a good strategy, right? You get one game win off of it, and then they just ban it out the next game, and then if it looks really OP, people will try it in solo queue, it'll get hot fixed immediately. The thing is, the game changes so much that like finding that type of innovation within League feels really unfruitful because of the ban system and then the fact that Riot changes the game so much.
On a bit of an island, and so is Chris, but this ban phase has been the most different thing about the draft, in my opinion.
Okay, Udyr, Gnar. Assume it's just Gragas top again for EDG. I mean, they could also flex the support. Mako could play it.
Wait to see what they do with that Gragas. I do expect the Gragas to be flexed towards that support role. Again, we've seen Flandre on it 2 games in a row. Didn't work out last game. I do think it will find time in almost anything that FPX can pick in the bot side.
Do you think how much it changes is better or worse overall? I think it's better for casual players, right?
I think EDG wanted to bait that out.
Because like,
also still have the Silas open on their
if there's ever metas you dislike, things get changed so much that there'll probably be a time where whatever champion you prefer or whatever you like will just become really relevant or really good within the game. So I think that that's just like the good side of it changing all the time. It's like for the casual player, like let's say you're a Xin one trick, right? Xin was dog shit in season 10, but it was like decent in season 9. It was OP in season 8, and now it's coming back and it's pretty good in season 11, right? Let's say you're a Gnar fan, right? Like Gnar was bad for a little bit, came back. Let's say you're a fucking Hecarim or Udyr fan. Like Hecarim was pretty good in season 9, was bad in season 10, good in season 11. Like all these champions go through. There's so much fluctuation that all your champions like have points of like strength or viability. So it makes like average players and like players that really like enjoy playing like 1 or 2 specific champions. It makes like their time better, because imagine if there was just a long-term patch where like you had 3 years on the same patch and your champion was dog shit, and then they do another patch, and then the next 3 years it's still dog shit. It's like you're not gonna fucking play the game anymore.
Protection around LWX. We have 2 beefy frontliners with this kind of follow-up engage / peel that the Rakan can provide. And Lulu is actually a champion that Doinby has been playing a ton in solo queue.
Dota, every champion is strong but counterable.
The LWX train, he's gonna do extremely fine in this lane.
Yeah, I mean Dota's just a completely different game.
Lulu is actually like a surprisingly decent laner with the amount of damage you have coming out from your passive. On the side of EDG, it's a lot more dynamic. We see they have options to play out through side lanes, get pressure, group up throughout the Jace poke as well. They have flanking angles to come in with Silas and Hecarim.
3 years on one patch. Man's talking about StarCraft. Yeah, but it's crazy, right? Like that's the thing. Think about StarCraft as a game. Think about StarCraft as a game. Think about Warcraft 3 as a game. These games have long periods where there's no patch, but there's still innovation. And that just, like, imagine what could happen in League with how many champions are playable in League of Legends. Think about how many champions are in League of Legends compared to, like, how many units are in Warcraft 3 or StarCraft or something like that.
It's exciting. Another draft that we can twist and turn. We can talk about this going in. But at the very least, with one apiece, EDG and FPX have already delivered in their own individual game. We want to see where this goes next. For the spot in the grand final for 2021 spring.
Yeah, look at Smash. Smash is another one, right?
Deserves it the most.
Where there'll be periods of like 3 years, no patch. Like, look, think about the early days. No one thought Jigglypuff was like that OP. It was like a niche, like, troll character. Like, it was like the equivalent of picking like fucking like Shaco Jungle in League, where it's like, oh, it's like kind of annoying, but it's not actually good. And then it just became like, oh my god, like, fucking Jigglypuff is just fucking insane. It's one of the best champions in the game. Obviously, it's characters, but, you know, I'll just say champions. All right, Flandre on Jace versus Nuguri Gnar. Interesting. Doinby on the Lulu mid. Dude, think about the adaptations of draft. There definitely are more adaptations in draft from LPL teams than there are from NA teams in general. I mean, the good thing for NA is that the most adaptable team is the one that's going. That's the thing I worry about for EU, is I don't think that EU actually sent their most adaptable team, which I think is really, really important when you're going to international competition, especially from a weaker region. That's my huge issue with Mad Lions. I don't know how adaptable they are. They seem like very like one tricky in terms of their style.
Even if you're just posturing in mid-wave or posturing in front of,
it's a good ward from Nuguri, because Nuguri can go inside and out of that bush and do so much damage. Or sorry, Flandre will be able to go in and out of that bush and do so much damage to Nuguri there. So he has to ward it so that the minions will draw aggro in the bush and he can't get cheesed. It's a good way to like keep your matchup more reasonable. And he doesn't actually need his ward, because like his ward's not going to save him. What's going to save him is the timing of his jungler being near his wave on a push out.
EDG coming into you, but when they have a Jace and they can also throw out some poke and chunk you down, I don't feel like they necessarily need to. They also win side lanes, so yeah, it's
What's the idea of Silas into this team? I'm not sure when the Silas was picked. But I mean, he has like Gnarl, which is really good. It could be potentially flex of like mid and top depending on when they picked it. And then Lulu ult is also like pretty good for him. Lulu's also not a lane that's going to be like super cancer for him. He'll be able to sustain through it.
That's not talking you up at all. You talked about Lulu having a bit of pressure and having a bit more damage. Doinby's gone for the ignite. He's pushing out this wave, and Scout's lacking in CS as this wave crashes it.
I mean, right, you're playing melee against range, and you even think about Silas as a champion. You look for all-ins, but you all-in a Lulu, the polymorph comes out.
Rakan is not, like, super insane on Silas. Like, normally, like, the ones you're looking for are, like, Alistar ult, Hecarim ult, but Gnar ult is also up there. One of the best ults for Silas.
She has a lot of hidden power in the early game coming out with her passive as well, so definitely a very strong lane for Lulu in this matchup. And
Interesting that Doinby went for the Lulu. I feel like FPX's team comp doesn't have that much damage on it. I feel like they kind of lack damage here.
For being blinded. It can be punished in laning phase.
Scout already has been. Look, the corrupting potions are gone. He has a biscuit, but wants to back Doomby's not going to let him. Glitter Lance very cheekily done as Mako on.
Oh, Mako went to ward and Tien just shows up behind him. He's just dead. He's not going to use anything. He should just accept death.
Definitely not the easy way. Who's the kill going to go to?
Obviously, LWX.
Going to get it given. Ready to die.
Yeah, went for the deep ward there, and Udyr actually came back around. Interesting.
Can we try and like sell Viper as like a secret agent?
So that's actually really interesting. That's actually really interesting. It looks troll when you think about it, dude. How many Udyr players? Because bot crab's already gone, right? Like their Udyr took top crab. EDG got bot crab themselves. So almost every player in the world here, if you're Udyr, would just recall, right? You recall, you get your fucking Lucidity boots like everyone does, and you go back and you full clear your jungle again. It's so random for Udyr to be here. Udyr deciding to like walk down, knowing that this crab is already gone, is really interesting. Yeah, like that's just crazy by Tien. I don't even know how. I don't even know why he did this, dude. He just predicted Mako was gonna go for a deep ward here. That's so crazy.
Ready to die.
The best part about this is earlier in the day when you messaged me and you said, "Hey,"
And then he recalls afterwards.
Try and,
Okay.
Sell Viper as like a secret agent, because I think in that play Mako thought he was a secret agent, but definitely didn't work out for him. Ended up way too deep all by himself. All sides of FPX able to follow up. Dwinby having pressure in mid. Their bot lane very easy rotation over. And for the side of FPX, I like what they're doing this far. We see the TP
With the boots nerf, this is going to be more standard in the next patch? Maybe. I mean, I think people will probably just still back here. It's my boots and a ruby crystal.
And for the side of EDG, no windows yet on the map to punish.
Especially when you look at LWX picking up that first blood as well. Tristana, within the games we've seen, has been pretty explosive. Whether
Five head or coincidence? Honestly, like, I think maybe he thinks, because JJ skipped a camp to get to the crab early, maybe Udyr, like Tien thinks that JJ, if he full clears, will be slow on that crab, and he might be able to contest the crab. I think that is a higher likelihood than him expecting the support to deep ward there and then running across the map, because he didn't have information on it.
No reason why he needs to walk up. The enemy team knows that Chris back. They saw them in the mid lane as Tien run and stuns JJ.
Level 5, yeah, JJ's chasing him though. The horse wants in on this action, runs him down, the flash is there, he spins for it, even with Doomby over the wall, he's gone to his
damn
as well.
Udyr's just clapped him out there.
But Scout's laughing.
Massive mistakes coming out from FPX. Tien thinking he can get that one down, but he doesn't have the damage. JJ does chase him down. He does have
Udyr can lose to Hecarim.
Hecarim does his movement speed and
Just depends on how you end up fighting it. If you're able to disengage or not.
Level 6, flashes over, tries to give him the shield, doesn't have the
Their Tien didn't get enough distance.
down, and then with the numbers advantage, they very easily turn onto Dwinby. Scout picks up that kill, and now Scout being level 6 to Dwinby's level 5, though Dwinby should be able to pick that one up. But I feel like the most important thing from this, FPX lost both flashes, to where Scout's still able to have his, and Ghost on a much shorter cooldown than Flash.
Good point. I think it's also important to note that Doomby has Ignite, so he wasn't able to TP in. It's just stopping Crisp here from getting the ward. He'll be able to Grand Edge, over the wall. I did have a bit too much tea there, Lyric. I want to point out, by the way, now, it is red raspberry.
What happened if one team bans Hecarim, Udyr, Nidalee, and picks Lilia? Enemy team would pick like Nocturnes and Volibear, whatever.
Scout was able to get a lead in this lane where Doomby was shoving him out, where he was bullying him down. It now looks a lot more even than we expected, and Scout on the Silas is getting a bit of a pass here, where he now has those Lucidity boots.
Worst comes to worst, they pick Graves.
The most important thing is the fact that with the way EDG play out this draft, I agree that the most important leads, in my opinion, can come onto your soul laners, or at least on like the whole top half of your map. Because when you're playing against a one-threat composition, when you do have diving tools like Hecarim and Silas, if they can get ahead, if they can find their way on,
Morgana jungle is meta.
Target, you can pretty much just instantly.
Yeah, it's like meta right now, but it's not in competitive. That's what you're talking about.
If EDG ever decided to throw him a bone and help him out. Again, you at least then have that long range you can play out when you have the posturing and the standoffs around the dragon as well. It's funny when you know, Viper is the superstar of this team. I feel like his advantage might be the least important among his teammates.
I'm gonna say this could be dangerous. Scouts going in onto Doomby. Wild growth is there.
Really good chunk. Pretty much guarantees them dragon.
But he gets half health for it. Scouts able to push in the wave, and JJ still hovering. You see how hungry EDG are.
I guess JJ is just waiting to try to gank mid. He doesn't actually care about the dragon here.
Playing around mid, having Scout on assassin is Flandre doing massive damage.
While we talk about the Jaces onto Doomby again, there's the wild growth. He's stolen away, but JJ comes in.
Well played from JJ. Played it perfect.
Kill number 2. Tien watches like a bird.
It's really well set up gank. I mean, that was a lot of patience for that gank. They could have done dragon. They could have taken topside. And JJ just went for the gank, and he's going to Rift Herald now. I think it's decent because, like, his team just wants the gold lead. They don't really care about the, they don't really care as much about the, dragon stacking. Like, that's not going to be as important to them. So, I feel like this is actually pretty good decisions based on their team comp. Like, they have a Jace, Silas comp. They're going to end up being useful either way later on. They're fine, they're fine.
But Mako has had his last beer before he's going to get into a drunken fight.
You don't want to watch EU Masters? Not really. Prefer LPL over EU Masters any day.
Also, you know, at least it's silver lining for the side of FPX. We do see that LWX is able to push this one in.
Not like super big on EU Masters.
But the fact that their one kill earlier on him is good, right? That's where your gold needs to be. That's where all of your kills need to go towards. But for the side of EDG, I think they're completely fine with this map state. We do see that JJ is pathing down, clearing his jungle towards that dragon. We see that Viper gets on the map first, so they should have...
I normally only watch the later rounds of EU Masters. I don't really care about, like, group stage that much.
Over push, but he has the hop. He's totally fine.
Walked out already. That's 2 good plates against a Jace Lyric. That's not bad response here. FPX are up in gold, and I believe Nuguri is part of the reason why after getting that down.
Just doing a great job of abusing the fact of, you know, Flandre roaming down, coming back up towards topside. Nuguri had all that time alone with the turret. Already has the plated steel cap, so it's gonna.
Why aren't players allowed to read stream LEC? I mean, the only league you can read stream is LCS, except for Korean influencers. Like, if you're in Korea, then you can co-stream LCK. There's like some rule like that. Like, you have to actually be in Korea yourself to like co-stream LCK.
Maybe within the next 30 seconds.
Yeah,
that's how every region operates.
I like that you bring that up. My interest here is whether Scout is able to back with an item or that first mythic and then get.
Who do I think will represent LPL? I assume it's going to be FPX. Oh, LWX is beyond dead.
That's a mistake as Viper gets straight to the back line.
Damn, they baited that actually super well.
A bit of a run this time as the Dragon
Respect.
goes down as a response, and FPX are gonna
they were so ready for this play.
Yeah, LWX going a bit.
Or a Korean team? No, like, you have to be in a Korean org and, like, be in Korea. Because I'm pretty sure Nemesis only could live view. LCK, he only was, like, live viewing.
I think they should have known that from where they last saw him topside, you know, about 45 to 60 seconds ago. Still, at least the silver lining, right? They are able to get the Drake for that, but all of these plates going down for J.
Nemesis was able to co-stream?
And FPX respond.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe they changed it.
Saying, hey, let's kill Flandre, but Flandre gets out. He doesn't even burn the flash. Herald gets first heart blood on the bottom side, and EDG all of a sudden are up 1,500 gold in the 11-minute mark. And what we've seen from early games is they carry true as Nuguri into the Mega Gnar soon. Flandre does damage, but FPX's top laner is going to be bigger.
Well, when did he start co-streaming? When did Nemesis start co-streaming? Because I watched his stream and it seemed like he was live viewing, like, earlier in the season.
Members of FPX are still sticking around, so he had to end up losing another wave of CS. So FPX...
I mean, that has to be something that changed over the split. He was started as live viewing. I know that for a fact. The thing is, I don't think that enough people know the difference between co-streaming and live viewing that I can't even, like, trust chat on this. Even though I want to. I'll have to check for myself.
I don't think Nuguri being ahead really will change the dynamic of how.
Since he joined Gen G, that's just a lie. So I know that that part's at least a lie.
Pushing down the bottom turret, which feels like one of the most pivotal member, right?
He live viewed before he joined Gen G. That's false.
Supporting
when he was with Genji, he was live viewing already. So it must have happened as well.
Determines the success of FPX in this game.
In my opinion, yes.
You're right. I know that for a fact because I was like there for that. I didn't watch his stream later, so I don't know if he actually co-streamed later.
FPX's goal. You're up against EDG, who have a bunch of mid-game skirmishing champions. They're almost on their mythic items. We already see Turbo Chemtang coming out for JJ. Keep funneling gold onto LWX, let him push in the spiraling turret, try and give him as many jungle camps as possible, and then utilize the fact that Nuguri has been able to consistently push into the Jace through the amount of resources he has gotten, and try to turn that into the fact that you can get on an objective.
Could only stream Genji games. That's just not true.
How was it, buddy?
I can look. I can figure it out myself, I guess.
It's not the best because EDG can play up all the flanks we talked about. They can have the Jace who's fine just posturing in front of you, and there's just a lot of opportunities that they have playing out with different win conditions and different goals to get onto your carries.
And we have to remember, before we even get to that stage, is that's a wild growth with the abscond abduct onto Doomby. Good Kingslayer here, trying to bait out Doomby.
See, like here.
There's JJ riding into the back line. The fear good, finally the
Here, he is already part of Genji here. He's literally already part of Genji Nemesis live viewing Genji. So it definitely was not him joining Genji that allowed him to
baited.
co-stream, if he did co-stream.
With Scout, and Scout still wins. Silas, big boy, and he demands respect.
Scout, Silas went up so massive against Top Esports. Scout was really the one who put that series on his back at the end of the day and had the clutch moments. Despite the fact that Scout plays everything in my mind, we know he plays the Azir, he plays the Orianna, he plays his control mage as well. We need to remember that Scout's best split last year was in spring, and that's when champions like Akali, Irelia, Silas, LeBlanc were metas. Heck, Scout still plays LeBlanc.
I mean, I still feel like EDG is in a really good spot. I don't know how... Like, LWX is going to have to do so much damage, and I feel like these single damage team comps don't work in LPL, generally speaking, because people are just really good at just, like, trading ultimates to just fuck with you. Like, I could see Mako just ulting at LWX out of a team fight later on, and then LWX is just fucked, right? Like, then FPX just can't win the game. Whereas, like, in other regions, it feels like Gragas' only E-flash to R them in.
Red is secured in the end, and Lyric, gold is dead even. I think it's important to note that top lane turret is about a breath of fresh air from falling over. Mid lane about half here for EDG. But in terms of objectives...
Only works with Uzi? Yeah, but it, like, stopped working with Uzi even towards the end of his career.
Might revolve around a similar timer, and EDG have priority and vision control around the river for now.
Yeah, but FPX are looking for the engage. Chen finds it.
Nuguri's going in. This is going to be 5 versus 4 for now. Scout on the back end doesn't get the abscond,
okay,
but he's stolen the quickness.
Decent ult for Mako. Chance to get Crisp knocked into the team.
Nuguri at half health, and EDG, they disengage from that one. They draw everyone close.
They try to find the pick and river. That's really their best case scenario. Maybe they could have tried to kite it out a bit more, but it goes back to the point we highlighted about the Jace. We saw what his Q was able to do in that scenario, right? Imagine an extended posturing around an objective where Jace is just able to throw out this free damage. FPX are at least going to respond. I really like this.
Are people allowed to have the same in-game names? Isn't it weird when two Vipers play against each other? Is there any ruling? I think one of them has to change always. Like, I know maybe there's not a rule about it, but I know players don't like having the same name, so at very least they trade themselves. So Viper's name now has, like, the NA Viper has a 1 in it.
Thank you for the leash, though. As Flying Dragon tries to poke them away, so it's one dragon apiece, and for EDG, that's double objective in the span of 1 minute.
And the thing is, they could just turn back to mid like they're doing now, and honestly, I feel like they could have even dropped Rift Herald if they so do choose, because I think they could assume that some of FPX members are going back onto resets. It looks like that's what they were planning to do, but with the fact that LWX was already here, they decide not to at the end of the day. So FPX are going to be the team that has some members back on the map first, with Chris just coming off of a reset. But no real objectives up. FPX can try and get some vision down as they're doing now on the top half of the map, so they can start forcing this top lane turret. But next big objective is 4 minutes with the dragon, right?
And I wanted to, while we wait for those objectives to come up, talk about something you mentioned in draft, where EDG in their side lanes should have a
What's most likely his connection with Genji that allowed him to go stream. God damn, bro. Just please just leave my chat. Like, I literally just on stream proved that wasn't what happened.
We do see
like,
especially for Scout, right?
oh man.
Even actually, maybe even slightly behind if you do factor in all the plate golds that.
Like, I literally just went through all of his VODs on stream to show that he was actually live viewing once he joined Gen G. So something else happened later on.
He's just catching waves close to his tier 2 turret. But still, I feel like anywhere JJ links up would be a solid
Are there any unique or weird rules you remember from your days as a pro player?
Make sure they're not looking around the Meganar. You know, with the fact that scouts
Weird rules that I remember? Well, I don't like that. One thing I hated from LCS is that you're not allowed to compete in any other like tournament for any other game, even if it's like a for fun tournament, even if it's just like something like with your boys. Like, you can't compete in like a Twitch Rivals for a different game if you're an LCS player, technically, right? Like, maybe they're lenient on it, but like in the rule book, it's like if you are a LCS player, you can't play in a for fun Heroes of the Storm tournament, which could like increase your brand. It could be like good for you. It could be good for LCS. I don't like that rule. I think that's a really dumb rule. I think that players should be able to brand themselves in any way they want, and like, as long as they're not playing a game that's a direct competitor in a tier 1 tournament, like, I don't think that it should matter that much.
Him and LWX are on very similar power spikes, both sitting at 2 items. Viper does have tier 2 boots over him though, but
so if there was like a Fall Guys Twitch Rivals, you're not allowed to compete if you're an LCS. I think that's dumb.
Of their windows, right? We saw EDG made a play. It is their turn to reset. FPX used
So technically, you couldn't compete in a charity tournament then? Exactly. You can't compete in a charity tournament. If there was a charity Fall Guys tournament, you can't compete if you're an LCS player.
It's all going to be about when we're standing.
It was even crazier than that. One thing they got rid of that they used to do in my days in like season 3, season 4, was you were not allowed to stream any other game outside of League of Legends if you were an LCS player. So like, you couldn't get on stream and play like Hearthstone. And if you did, you could get banned.
It's wide open. You got to talk about it. Put everything out on the table. This game 3 is very much like that. You don't know when it's going to end, and you don't know what could happen as EDG are moving into brush. There's Tien for the stun. It's Maker first. He body slams away. But
this is pretty good for FPX. Viper gets jumped on the side. They can kind of like force a front to back. JJ has to pop his Ghost. Not bad.
The thing is, they did get summoners off of Viper, which will be massive, but they lost a lot of tools.
They're only on Tien here. Still should be good for EDG. You're starting to see how good like EDG had a horrible angle there, but unless LWX is able to just auto non-stop, there's no damage coming out of this team comp.
Where they should be able to do this. It looks like they want to though. They still have tools up, right? Scout has the wild growth available. That's actually honestly about it. So I don't think EDG will do it.
Oh my god, that was actually such a nice combo from Scout. They can Baron off this. They're going to start Baron off this, I'm pretty sure. Okay, unless Scout just dies. Are they still going to do Baron? Wait, did JJ start hitting Baron already? I thought JJ started hitting Baron.
And again, Chris getting clutch here with the wild growth as Nuguri jumps on back in, but Viper's ready to re-engage.
Kind of split calls here. I think EDG should have just started Baron there. Tien was dead, LWX was dead. There's no damage on FPX. Like, you just started. Not much poke from the enemy team either. They have to just suicide in. So you can start Baron in turn.
Again, I think when you look at EDG's comp right now and with how long death timers were, it would have been really risky for EDG to look for that play. We see LWX walk in by himself towards the Raptor wall, gets caught out beautifully, like you said. EDG try to push it a bit too far. Flandre goes a bit too far forward, ends up getting caught off guard as well. And FPX are coming off recalls. They are going to be able to get on this dragon first, so at least going to get themselves a bit of wiggle room. They are going to be sitting on 2 dragons right now.
Is Nuguri the best Gnar in the world? No, the best Gnar in the world is Huni.
We have this, you know, Lulu, again, the shielding that we've already talked about. But especially people like Tien and Nuguri going to benefit off this greatly. As we'll have a look at it again because it was onto LWX.
That E is so nuts from Scout there, actually.
And think about it. Think about what LWX did there. He sees Silas doing that. He knows exactly.
Look, Tien clicks the Baron and he loses half of his life to the Baron. Tien was actually on Baron here.
But still, they have the damage. They have the lockdown with Scout to bring him in. And then after this,
I mean, Flandre's just kind of dead there, though.
They can punish a bit more, but their damage
Oh my god, onto Lulu. Good combo. I mean, the Heckrums have been really good. Damn, that ulti didn't bring him back. He actually clipped the wall there. It's pretty annoying. He didn't even ult that bad of a position.
This should be a Baron bait coming out from EDG. You just got one pick on the Lulu, and now Tien has no flash. EDG are going for it.
It's going down quick, but look at where Scout.
So EDG wants to turn here 100%, but look at like how they set up the turn. Look at how they set up the turn. Okay, never mind. Now they just finish. Honestly, like, it's pretty good from Scout to be able to do that, though. Like, they were thinking about turning, and then everyone just ran away from Scout. Scout started turning, and they all just, like, jumped out, ran away, and then he was able to, then they were just able to finish. Really good from JJ there. Immune the bear stun CC to do that. Mago's ulti was, like, a little bit unfortunate. He probably needs to ulti him just directly back instead of towards his team.
He can only run forward, but you're running forward at a Gragas, at a Hecarim, at a Silas that is coming from behind. So he would surely go down, and I like that FPX in the end decided they needed to respect that one because the game could have been lost there.
It could have, right? It could have been so much worse. Baron will still go over, but minimal losses at that. No Dragon here. EDG just pivoting around River, while FPX, they've grouped up as a 5-man unit, and look at where Flandre is. Nowhere near the fight. FPX want the mid lane priority. They're going to stay here for now.
FPX can't get mid lane priority here.
Keeps on running, but stunning is not done. JJ zoning as well, as that shock blast was huge. JJ running back in, explosive cast, misses everyone, but JJ doesn't care. Puts them against the wall. Tien not taking too much damage, but here's the engage.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. EDG still win. Oh my god, the Jace damage. Holy shit, look at the Jace damage here. Oh my god, it's the Everfrost into the fucking Jace damage. Look at Flandre's damage here. EQ into another Q. Oh my god, Jace just did like... look at Jace's damage in the fight. Look at his damage. Look at his damage meter. Look at it. It was literally 3k damage in a second. Oh my god, look at Jace's damage meter. Holy shit. I love the mid-fight damage meters. Just check out the damage meter here once he lands the combo. It's like slightly delayed, but look at it. Boom. 5k damage. Jesus. 3k damage in under a second.
Members of FPX, EDG have Baron. They're just gonna be able to run this one down the mid lane, but they don't have a wave.
They don't really have a front line, right? Here's JJ in the back, but Hecarim's waiting for the rest of the wave to come through.
They can end.
Timers are not long enough. Chris will come back up. Nuguri in 20 seconds after that.
But you see like how they make the decision once they can't end? They're like, all right, never mind. Our like wave is too shit. We can't end. Like Silas go bot, take their jungle camps. They get so much here instead of just like all doing the same thing and then backing off.
Again, I can't wait till we get that replay because I think Scout is the one who ulted first, locking multiple members down. Nuguri then jumps in and ults after that, and I mean there was just a big ball of chaos in all of it.
Yeah, was both full Jace combos into 4 people. Yeah, it was his EQ in range form, and then he went melee, and then he just QW'd on top of them.
Again, he's gonna take the Gnar ultimate here. They run in. We see Tien engage. EDG kind of backing off, and then there it is. Yep, he's the one who ults first.
This was such a good Everfrost, though. I mean, the Everfrost sets up the entire Jace combo. I was surprised by the Jace damage, but, like, obviously, like, I tried to credit it mid-fight. I thought that the, okay, that's Kaisa damage. Can't be there if you're Chris. Like, Chris is obviously trying to get, like, cheating wards. Like, he's trying to get, like, a ward over in, like, in Gromp. Or ward seeing an entrance to see if they can do anything.
They're steps away from match point, and Lyric on that last play, I have to say, group effort. Flandre, melee shock blast to the face hurt a lot. And we just see the ever-growing damage that's coming out of this composition. Viper with 3.5 items. 3 items with the Magi's there for Scout.
Yeah, you get POVs from the players. One thing that we could do for a stream is FPX on their YouTube channel actually releases Tian's jungle VODs. Which would be pretty interesting to watch.
Because Flandre doesn't feel all that much love coming out from EDG, right? Doesn't get that much attention. Just kind of silently does his job extremely well. and I'd say consistently shows up for EDG. Oh,
This could be it. This could be it.
doesn't stop.
It really doesn't, but look at the damage that's come down for FPX. Viper stays alive, gets to the backline while the TP play from Scout delays time with the Zonya's Hourglass. Tien's dead. Chris goes in for the re-engage, hoping something will work, but the 80 carry's gone down. That's the damage for the composition, while Doomby's against the wall, and EDG are feeling it, man. One more step is all it's going to take as they head towards the Nexus. Lyric, this could be the year of EDG. 1,083 days later, on match.
Wait, you know what they have? Okay, if you guys want to watch this, I'm not going to do this right now, but look at what they have, dude. You had Tien's games, his 3 games versus RNG. They have Doonby's first player perspective for these games. They have Doonby's Lulu first player perspective entire games, bro. How insane is this? How insane is FPX YouTube? Hey, you got to sub to that shit. I've been sub for a while. How insane is their YouTube? What better content is there than this? Doonby's entire VODs every single game of the series. And here's Tien's versus JDG. So they have Tien's first person perspective versus JDG. They have Tien's first person perspective versus RNG as well. And they have Doonby's all 5 games. First person perspective. That's nuts content. It's such insane content, actually. Respect. I like that. How do these not... Like, I mean, I'm just going to tweet these out later. But the only reason that these views are so low is because people just don't know they exist. How the fuck does Doonby's first person perspective of him playing versus EDG only have 1.6k viewers? Like, it's just disgusting. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? You get to watch the player perspective when he's just popping off in game 5? Like, come on. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Point in the semi-final versus
EDG was up 2-1, though, to FPX.
And JJ, I think, had a phenomenal game on this Hecker M. I mean, FPX went for the gambit, right? They left it open. They gave it over to his side. We see Scout going back to the Silas. Man, this guy again on Assassins, on
Link it, you fucking ape. Are you really that dumb that you can't find it? You know what? I purposely will not link it just because I want to see if you're going to be able to, like, find it.
Was a bit of an afterthought in the early game just because nothing was really happening.
I literally told you where it was, and it's in the most obvious place possible.
I will be honest.
I just want to see if you're going to be able to do it.
I'm not a big fan of FPX's team comp. I'm not really too big on these one threat compositions. I feel
Can't
like
type FPX.
very hard to play out.
It took me 0.4 seconds to find it. Like,
Where,
what
again,
the
this is
fuck?
What happens when there's no engage? You're taking Jace poke to the face.
No, I'm too lazy.
Seeing what happens when
Bro,
you're looking for
if you're
engage.
too lazy to even find it, there's no way you're going to watch it in the first place. Like, you're not going to fucking spend time watching it even if I find it. You'll watch like 3 minutes of it and then be like, oh, yeah, I got to go fucking jack off for the 18th time today. That's what's going to happen. I already know that's what's going to happen. So it's not even worth. It's not even worth, honestly.
lane gets picked up, jungle gets picked up in the first rotation, and then solo lanes are played around. A bit of push and pull. EDG just need to lock one in. Stop it. Viega's not available. But they say, hey, let's take Renekton, which has been banned a couple of times.
You bet, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
God damn it.
This one up. They are going to ban out some of the counters. You do expect it to be top lane when it comes to EDG. Flandre's which has been a champion.
Ban him? No, I'd rather just fucking flame him. Dude, that's what I do. Like, I literally just flame for content there. I know people are gonna some people take it as like I'm actually mad, but I actually find like flaming entertaining. Like when somebody insults you and then you try to like quickly come up with a way to insult them back, like I actually find that fun because I'm just like deranged, I guess. Okay, game 4, FPX versus EDG. Game 4. All right, so Udyr first picked again from FPX, but this time we have a difference. The Nocturne's been permabanned this series, but yeah, I mean, Nocturne obviously, like, flex pick in China. They play it jungle, they play it top, they play it mid. Definitely, like, strong champion overall. Hecker and banned. So we get to see Lilia into Udyr, which is normally considered, like, Udyr favored early Lilia favored throughout the game. Renekton, Tristana, Nautilus. Okay, that's all standard. Surprised that they actually opted into the Nautilus versus Rel, but it's definitely a playable matchup, especially if you're as good as LPL supports are, where they actually are able to hook the Rel out of the Rel W pretty consistently in lane. They know how to position for it as well. And doing B with the Victor blind. I'm down with the Azir here, honestly. I think Azir is fine.
FPX gonna keep it mostly standard. Going to send
Nuggery Jason to Renekton though. Should be pretty good top. Honestly, I like both comps. I feel like they're both like pretty stable comps. They've like a lot of different playmaking. I'll definitely take FPX's comp most times though, because I feel like they're slightly more versatile. And when you look at these teams, I don't think that it's that easy to flank, and I think in front to back, FPX is just gonna win. Slightly squishier front line. I mean, it's not even that much squishier front line, but like slightly squishier front line, considering like Renekton is just gonna get so many free stats, but more damage. Relatively short range comp too, which is pretty good for Kaisa.
To break their curse of 1,083 days. So let's get to it. Welcome to Summoner's Rift once again, and if you missed out on draft, here you go. Bit of a heads up.
I'm gonna do a live view for the finals. We should test live views again for the playoffs and stuff. But yeah, I've been doing like VOD reviews because, like, I mean, it's just like easier on my schedule. It's easier to wake up, and I get like more viewers just showing the games and doing VOD reviews anyway. So it's almost like not worth it to.
Waiting patiently.
Yeah.
Now it's your birthday. It feels pretty good here. As we're in the Summoner's Rift for game number 4.
I would
EDG
prefer the
one step away from breaking
viewership or whatever.
Well, that's a bit of a pick. EDG gonna start this off. Chris has to walk away. The Pheromancer crash down with the explosive charge means he's at half health and he can't back away. It's already a little bit sad. He has to stay in the lane.
And they also get a ward down right onto Tien's red buff, to where no answer coming out for FPX in the enemy jungle. So they're going to know exactly where Tien's going, and he's pathing towards the top side, a bit more of what you'd expect. While we look at the bot lane, Viper and Mako should be able to get control of the wave, should be able to force a fast level 2 as well. Crisp and LWX going to be feeling a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's straight onto the backline minions here for Viper and Mako, so that'll be quick. Well, LWX and Crispy mentioned with the start onto the red buff. It was spotted out as well, so EDG with the deep ward was quite nice after getting some damage down onto Crisp. He, of course, is healed up, but I believe he's used one of his pots.
Yeah, Crisp Rel is pretty nuts.
Crisp at a small disadvantage.
So this matchup, I've thought, has been pretty difficult for Victor normally, but I guess after the Azir nerfs, people don't perceive it as that bad anymore. Definitely think that Azir should get the push early, though.
But the thing is, right, JJ is pathing towards the bot side, so EDG going to go back to the standard game plan of saying, hey, Flandre, you're on your own, buddy. Do your best. You got this. And again, Flandre's done a phenomenal job at doing this, not only all series, but all split long, finding a way to have massive impact and do massive damage like in the last game. And your bot lane already got...
Hey, Dom, instead of trying to match the timer, just show the in-game timer on stream. Yes, I do not want to get my stream banned if I can avoid getting my stream banned. So I'm not going to do that. It's like... Hey, instead of showing the timer in a different thing, why don't you just instead of showing the timer on your on the side of your screen, why don't you just decide to show the game itself?
Towards Flandre in most cases. So JJ here just farming away while up in that top side. Look at what
I don't like multi-camping Gromp and Blue as Lilia this early. I feel like you lose so much health with no Ravenous Hunter, or like Ravenous Hunter not getting stacks. Or not getting a stack early.
Done a good job of, again, abusing the range first melee matchup and trying to deny him getting off as much damage as possible. Ooh, Scout, I'm surprised, already covering for his top laner. Will have push early on in this matchup as Azir. Typically, you see a lot of Azir lanes play out is utilizing your mana pool early, trying to get off an early reset.
Get a trade crabs, everything pretty standard.
Around the 6-minute mark. But the thing is,
oh, that's death.
Oh, no,
damn.
Chris face checked. He's like, are they there or not? And they just got cheesed in the brush.
Damn, I'm surprised that ended up working out so well.
I don't expect us to see anything happen in bot side because they probably aren't going to be able to pull off.
Yeah, I mean, it's like another thing where people are just cheating the... Like, people are expecting the enemies to do certain things because we're so locked into this, like, full clear reset, full clear meta that, yeah, we just see people making mistakes.
No, it is not, sir.
It's interesting, though, to see, like, junglers trying to get any advantages they can now.
for FPX. They have to hope they can do something with the top side. Nuguri is still up 20 CS at 4 minutes in the game. So that's still good. And even though they got first blood on EDG, look at the goal.
Yeah, look at the gap of Jay's first Renekton. Jesus.
I mean, it goes all up to that top side differential. Chris might be caught out again. He does have flash, though.
Yeah, the Ferromancer Crashdown needs to be used. The flash burnt, but is he just dead over the wall?
Oh, he got the reset. Ooh.
Rocket jump, and Viper's tearing the walls down of EDG.
Okay, I respect that. Nuguri TPs.
He's going to sandwich him. Mako's looking for an escape path that might crash with Nuguri. He gets locked down.
Oh my god, this game is looking so doomed.
Turn it back here.
LWX is here now.
This is where FPX need to fight as JJ one hit away. He flashes. Scout as well. Burns his own flash.
All right. Honestly, it's not that bad for FPX. It's bad for Jace because he loses some of his lead here, but it's not that bad because LWX gets solo experience here. He gets to push the wave in. Just thought he was gonna miss a couple minions, and they got like the assist on Victor, which I actually think is really important. I feel like getting the assist on Victor, like getting an assist on Victor early is so much value. Like if you trade 1-for-1 but Victor gets an assist, I consider it just not worth.
Doesn't need to go bot to answer that wave. Does get off the
Chris needed to flash earlier before Viper got the next auto. I mean, Viper still had flash anyway, so technically there's nothing he can do there. All he can do is make Viper burn his flash. I guess Nuguri needed to flash there probably. It was a really good W from Doinby though. Honestly, not the end of the world. It's only 800 gold lead. I mean, the thing is, when you look at this type of play, it's actually a good time for FPX to make this play on the map. Like the wave was shoved in all the way top, so the wave is coming back to Nuguri there, so he has the window to TP. And then bot lane had the bot lane was able to force minions to be missed as well. So like you see a play like this that would normally like be like a huge gold lead, but because of the timing where FPX decided to go for it, even though it didn't work out, it was still okay.
He's going in against the wall, sends Tien out. He's gonna get poked down, smite down for the heal, but look, Flandre's gonna tunnel down, waits for the Emperors to go.
Wait, they can maybe kill Scout here.
Flandre to keep Tien alive. He's kiting away. Will the
oh my god, Tien lives.
No, he walks it out while Flandre has to disappear.
Scout has no flash. Damn. Tien actually played that pretty well.
Available. It'll come down onto 2. Tien comes back in while the flash away from Nuguri to keep him alive. Onto Flandre. He's out as well after his flash. Now onto Tien. JJ is spinning like crazy. Goes back in. The stun there. The help from Nuguri.
Dude, this is actually like pretty high mechanical fight, dude. What the fuck?
Away. And this is the real Monka W situations going on.
I can't believe that.
Honestly, that's a fucking scrap. I respect that fight. I respect that fight in the game 4.
Really clean flash coming out from Flandre, making sure he doesn't go down.
I actually really respect that.
Kill with his W, but that was all over the place. I honestly hope we get a replay because I was focused on Scout.
Like they're playing to win. They're fighting it out. You know, like they're taking the small advantages. Honestly, I think that this whole fight was actually pretty good. Like Tien is setting up the dive. So the reason why Tien is here is because JJ is bot side. I think they were doing Drake or something, right? Like, what were they doing beforehand? They were doing Drake, I believe. Let's go back. Let's watch the whole play. So here, Tien is going top side to cross map the Drake. So EDG is taking Drake. He's trying to go for golems. Now to cover the cross map play, because it is like looking like slow push into dive here, to cover the cross map play, Scout actually goes top to cover it. I respect that play a lot because I feel like not enough teams are willing to like lean their mid laner into a side to cover a dive. It seems like in NA, it's like the jungler's job to cover dives, and if the jungler can't do it, no one else is going to do it. Where in China, you see supports cover dives, you see mid laners cover dives. Oh no, what did I just do? Yeah, so like Tien going here to take the golems, at least he's trying to get something back for the dragon being taken. So then that's like the impetus for the whole situation here. But yeah, Tien has to smite here to survive. He can't walk the other way. So then he goes on to Scout. Scout has no E at this point. So Scout has no E, and Nuguri just chunks out Flandre completely.
With the ulti, he gets helped out, but Nuguri using that advantage. The lilting lullaby is available.
Really good from JJ there.
Tien comes back in while the flash away from Nuguri to keep him alive. Onto Flandre.
Really good, really good. Well played. And Tien has a second smite. He knows he has to stay within the queue here if he can. Shock blast over the wall. Both jugglers smite the goals for HP. Like, that's a scrap, bro. We take those.
The ult able to pick up that kill. Focus on Q takes a couple around the aggressive way at first.
Flandre tried to run past Jace. What the fuck? I mean, Flandre has to go this way to be able to kill him. He has to, like, E through these golems to be able to kill him.
Tien, though, really nice sidestepping, avoids the swirl seed. Flandre chunk super low. Right now, Scout in a really bad position, doesn't really have anything left available, so they're able to pick up that kill. But from here, I thought EDG would just back off. Sure, Tien is low, but it's still technically a 3v2. They go in, Flandre lands a W, flashes out immediately, so they get one.
It's a scrap.
Look at JJ's scoreline. Yes, FPX gets something, but JJ's scoreline yet again. 2-0 here on the Lilia.
Yeah, Tien smited golems twice. Smited golems twice there for HP.
Pretty fast as well. Well, for EDG, gold may not be in their favor anymore. It's in fact even. But let's just note what we're working with Viper still in a bit of a lead. The side of FPX Lyric, 30 CS lead in the top lane. You're saying, okay, good, that's still happening while Flandre charges, gonna get pushed off again.
Before that, well, the thing is, Flandre doesn't know Tien is there. So because his top laner is rotating, if Tien is either already on golems or too deep, they'll be able to kill Nuguri because Nuguri has, like, Nuguri can just get flashed on by Scout and Flandre and get one shot. So Flandre is probably sacrificing HP to try to get himself in a position where, like, they can one shot. Like, he just flash on the Jace so they can one shot him.
EDG here first. You mentioned Viper walking into the river. Tien now trying to hit the Herald and get off a steal, but EDG have grouped on up. They need to hit the eye. Tien's there, steals it down, but is it worth it? He's going to get bursted down shortly. Flashes over the wall with a little...
Dude, honestly, I mean, this is, like, probably a weird thing to comment on. Really good shuffle from Scout. They kill Tien as well. They kill Tien as well. Oh, big play from Scout. Scout's played insane this series.
Maybe they can get it right. Onto Mako, the jump down. The flash is
there.
Damn. And EDG
this is going to be a weird thing to, like, compliment, but I actually think that Doinb's W usage has been really fucking good so far this game. He's really smart about using that ability, and that ability is, like, normally kind of written off. Like, people just view it as, like, a shit ability because you can, like, flash over it, you can jump out of it. But he actually uses it at really, like, annoying locations where people will have to use those abilities like flash or, like, you know, a 0E to get over it.
FPX off. FPX feel comfortable to walk in, but we see that Chris does.
Hey, that's a pretty fucking good Victor W, man. Pretty fucking good gravity field.
Push him away, and then Scout here finds the Shurima shuffle, pushes Nuguri into the other members. Just by a sliver of health gets out. Viper ultra aggressive as well. W is in. And again, Viper was one preventing LWX and Chris from being involved in that play. Use that ultimate to force both of them away.
Doing more VODs after the series? I want to, but I can't. So we're going to finish up the 2 LPL series that we haven't watched tomorrow. But I have a meeting in 1 hour. So just this game into the next game, and that's it. Then I got to go. I've been, like, super busy. But next week, I have not much, so I should be able to, like, stream all the fucking time next week.
Things have been bloody, things have been back and forth. There may not be a really firm gold lead, but in game 4 where EDG are on match point, they're bringing out all the stops with now some big carries on board.
The thing is, though, FPX aren't that far behind. Nuguri's still massive. Once we get into the stage where we are starting to group up, right? We saw last game, those accelerated shock blasts hurt.
Well, see, almost there. Is Doinb actually going to get shuffled back into his team who are coming on in? Doinb has to go on a bit of a journey, but where do you go?
Yeah, he's just dead.
Scout will push him over. JJ flashes just to stop wasting time. Doinb in a choke, doing a good job, but gravity field won't matter.
The Scout's been insane this series.
Meanwhile, FPX with the Herald drop in the bot lane.
FPX immediately cross maps, drops the Herald bot lane, but they have a ward behind them. Oh, they get double TP'd on. That's rough. Here's his flash. Wait, Chris? Damn, Chris almost lived there.
0-2 on Viper and EDG.
And then FPX cross maps again, and Nuggery hits top turret. I actually love that FPX are constantly cross mapping. Look at it. It's 2 to 8 in kills, and they're up in gold. How insane is that?
Secure some kills. They're going to secure the dragon as well. I'm not quite sure how low the turret is. 3 plates still left, so EDG shouldn't be able to secure this one, but still.
When do you see a team that's this far behind in kills be up in gold in the West?
That's a really good statement.
Just cross map after cross map after cross map.
That's what Nuggery's been doing, and FPX still have a lane to play through. And while each of these fights I'm kind of saying, EDG doing this, EDG doing that, oh man, EDG are still very fed, we have to remember that Nuggery's in a very good position, even being 1-2-1, has that huge CS lead, has the Eclipse now as well, and Doinby
Maybe down 3K. LPL teams have no macro. It's such a false narrative. That's like one of the things I hate the most. Most people aren't saying that anymore, to be fair, but like that was one of the narratives that stuck around for way longer than it actually was a thing.
I don't even like necessarily agree that EDG have the scaling, right? You have Victor Kaisa on the opposite side.
Like maybe like I think it's fair to say the Chinese macro wasn't as good as like Korean macro for a while. But like the way that people said it made it seem like the West had like an advantage in that department. It's like, no, we just out macro those teams, Copium. It's like, no. G2 was the only Western team to ever be able to out macro like Asian teams consistently. Just is what it is. There was one team from the West ever in the history of League of Legends that ever was able to compete macro-wise versus Asian teams.
Maybe in a more open environment, EDG will do well, and I feel like a lot is going to come down to if JJ can find clutch swirl seeds or sleeps onto numerous members.
Yeah, Nuggery Chase is pretty insane.
He has in the past. I think JJ's been one of the best in the league, so leave it to him. I like that you bring up it's not just pure scaling. I'll put that out of my brain for the time being, Lyric. I think when people see Azir and Tristana be included, we think
not the Caps Fnatic? Yeah, not the Caps Fnatic. The Caps Fnatic was like probably the most overrated team of all time from the West.
Take that to the bank, put it in.
Like they ended up just getting like a really great draw. And they ended up way deeper in the tournament than they probably deserved to be.
And remember, the early game gold lead has translated to so much within this series, as well as the blue side.
But I mean, that's just Worlds format, right? Like Worlds format, you know, you might just get to, you might just get to play, you know, C9 in the semifinals and get to World Finals based off that.
I think especially on the side of EDG, right, when you have Leandri's coming out on Lily, you have Azir, you have Tristana. Like, there's always going to be potential where if FPX overstep on, you know, the bottom side of the map, EDG just turn to that objective and burn it.
Just look at the DPS.
You know, I also just realized we are still 4.5 minutes from Baron. I'm getting a bit too far ahead of myself.
But I know you're looking ahead, Lyric, as Swellseed narrowly missed, rather. Flandre, look at his position.
Okay, Flandre, they're in onto JJ. JJ doesn't have his Zanyas yet. Damn, they actually one-shot him just like that. Really big advantage for FPX in this fight now. Scout went way too far. Flash is in. I mean, they just have to go on Viper. Damn, they're actually like really smart about target selection here. Well played, guys. Well played. I like seeing that. Good hustle. Bro, that's good legal. Dude, I don't know. This shit is like inspiring, bro. This shit is so inspiring to watch. Like, you can criticize like individual misplays, but there's individual misplays like all the time. Like Scout should probably not commit this hard into Doinby. But he ends up getting tagged by the W just so that LWX could follow up. And then this flash in from Nuggery, man. How many people would flash in there? And the knowledge from FPX to know that like Viper is out of jumps, no flash, no cleanse, just walk through the front line and just go for Viper. I fuck with it.
Nuggery's there. The follow-up is huge. FPX have cleaned house.
And FPX are going to be able to turn this into an objective. They should get the Rift Herald. They're going to put pressure down on mid-turret. And that fight even started off our screen, right? When we got to the fight, okay, we see JJ getting caught out. But Doinby was already low from what looked like a 1v1 with Viper. And then both teams kind of pushing forward, right? Scout goes in for the streamer shuffle onto Doinby. Gives up.
Why does Viper have no jump? He got a kill reset? Because he jumps out after the kill, right? Gets the kill and then he flashes. He has jump. He has jump here. He just has no mana for it. He doesn't have mana to jump is the thing. Yeah, he has no mana for it. That's why he has no jump, which is an even better call, I guess. He could have just not used his E. Let me see. Yeah, he just has no mana.
Into the backline onto Viper, the damage enough. Nugri's there. The follow-up is huge. FPX
Triss mana costs are pretty high, but it's also that Triss has very like a pretty low mana pool. It's like one of the ways they tried to balance Tristana.
And that fight even started off our screen, right? When we got to the fight, okay, we see JJ getting.
But I thought that the original pick that FPX had onto Lilia there was really insane.
One with Viper, and then both teams kind of pushing forward, right? Scout goes in for the stream of shuffle onto Dwinby, gives up his own life in exchange. Nugri then still full HP, feels comfortable flashing over the wall. And now FPX extending this gold lead out of nowhere now, sitting at almost 5k, but
your Q doesn't cost mana, but your W and your E are really costly, and then your ulti is pretty costly too. I think at like level 7 you only have like 420 mana or some shit. And your E is like 90 mana, and your fucking ult is 100, and your jump is 60. So you can do that trade about one time before you're like boom for the next one.
With Viper doing that, he also has to flash over the wall. FPX now having more damage.
It wasn't a great flash by him, but he's dead either way. There's no chance he lives there. Nugri's Jace is so insane, bro. Anyone who says that individually Khan is close to as good as Nugri is fucking delusional. 100% delusional. Like, there's no world where you would rather have fucking Khan. You'd rather have Khan than Nugri, man. That's a big downgrade. Big downgrade.
We gotta remember Dragons up. EDG had 2, but FPX are gonna start.
And like a lot of games from Dumb One, like everyone remembers the games where Canyon was super far ahead, but like there was also the games that were like super close, or the ones where like Showmaker would misplay. I mean, like Showmaker would get solo killed sometimes, and it would always be okay because Nugri would have such a big top lead that it'd be like, oh well, they have an advantage somewhere. Now that Dumb One doesn't operate like that anymore, the games look a lot more sketchy anyway. Like Gen G games, like the Gen G versus Dom 1 series, it was a 3-0, but it wasn't like a complete fucking fisting. There was definitely some yeah. There was definitely chances for Gen G to win games. Gen G definitely outplayed Dom 1 at points, and Dom 1 also looked weak at points for sure.
FPX at some point might try to just bait a Baron like they did earlier in the series.
Thorn made a really good point on an episode of Summoning Insight that I was watching recently, where he said that the way that fans view things is wrong in terms of like how best of 5 series are. Like people assume that because a series was best of 5, if it goes to 5 games, it is automatically a good series. Just because it went to 5 games, it's automatically a good series. Or if like a series is 3-1 or 3-0, the series can't be close. Like you can have a close 3-0 series. You can have a really stompy 5-game series. It's like just because of the game score doesn't tell the complete story. But like fans are really tunneled on it when they evaluate League of Legends. So like that's why people are like, damn, like TL versus C9 was so close and so hype because just because it went to 5 games essentially.
Again, I think for the side of EDG,
and it's something that like I myself like, dude, it's like such an obvious thing. Like when Thorin says it, it's such an obvious thing, but it's something that you like don't think about until someone puts it into words, or you won't like fully grasp like how delusional the 5-game series argument is, because it's almost like illegal to say that a 5-game series wasn't close.
Controlled here by FPX, a cheeky little ward in the back. I think that control ward, something that may be mentioned in the past. Actually, control ward in the bottom side in the split pushing lane. You can see
like game 5, I would say was pretty hype from TL versus C9. I didn't think the other games were that hype. Game 4 maybe was a little bit hype. Game 3, Game 2, Game 1 were like pretty shit games, man.
people like Scout, people like Flandre.
and EDG right now should just be waiting out their summoner spells to come up. Viper and Flandre's splashes are almost there. Definitely don't want to force anything in the meantime. So to me right now, all the onus and proactivity options are on the side of FPX. We already highlighted, just keep doing what you're doing, pushing out these sides, potentially looking for picks in the meantime. It looks like they might even try to force a Baron, maybe just try to force out Flandre's TP because Nugri's already here.
Now they forced the Baron in game number 1 and it ended.
I'm only like the one game C9 stomped Copium.
5 people.
No, I mean, I don't care about stomping or not. I care about, like, I thought that the reason why that game was good is because it was like a unique strategy by C9 and they actually played more aggressively. Okay, Uda just wins the fight. This was just a straight flip though. Oh my god. Viper can't play the game. He can't play the video game. Tien had flash too, so even if he flashes, Tien just catches him anyway.
He doesn't have to flash himself. He'll walk through the safety gates, and FPX take the Baron, take 2, and might take my heart.
Happy birthday hysterics because FPX
Is Nuguri just gonna top diff everyone? I mean, he comes into MSI as like on a different level than all of the other top laners. Like way on a different level. There's more competition for Nuguri within LPL for sure. For sure he's getting way better competition than he'll get at MSI.
Let's see what happens with Jeja and his smite throws out the E.
I mean, it was just a really good smite by Tien. Those are so hard to fucking get, actually. He smited the split second afterwards.
I mean, I'm sorry. Tien wins out.
Yeah, Tien wins out, of course, but then FPX pulled the trigger straight away onto the core targets and.
I mean, it's also just like if you look at the teams that won Europe and NA, it's not like we set our absolute like best top laners. Like I think Fudge has improved quite a bit, but like you're telling me Fudge is better competition for Nuguri than the other players within LPL? The guy who's gonna be playing in finals, Xiaohu, Flandre, like you're gonna tell me that because Flandre like died a bunch of times on Jace in that one series versus Xiaohu, he's suddenly a worse top laner than Fudge over the course of the split? Yeah, you're just delusional. Zoom, like the other guy he had to play to get here. To get to this point, he had to play Flandre, Xiaohu, Zoom, and who else did he have to play? Oh, he had to play like Cube for Rare Adam. That's not a huge one.
Look for a window where you can create numbers advantage by losing out somewhere else to at least find.
Flandre is so good. Yeah, Flandre is actually a good player. People don't watch enough of his games to actually evaluate him, in my opinion. Bin, he didn't have to play Bin, did he? I thought Bin was lower bracket or the bottom side of it.
Even the Magnet Storm here for Chris Farrell, but no further. FPX have used the Baron. They've got 40 seconds left. They've used that to also reset and pick up some more items, or at least get closer. I want to point out that Nuguri.
Yeah, he didn't play versus Bin, but he played against the rest of those guys.
An item that we've seen more is they're TPing. They're not going to settle down. They're like, hey, let's use the Baron to the full as he goes golden. Everyone's in. The burst down Viper's dead.
Yeah, and now FPX honestly should just be able to start sieging down mid.
Yeah, 369 as well. True.
Damage. I love it. They buy some more core items coming out. They have a 25-second window to possibly make more happen.
That cheeky ward, I don't know who put it down, but it's clutch. Doomby in the side lane pushing in. The death timer on Viper.
What you're not realizing is that we're in the hope stage of the NA League scene. After MSI, we shit on Fudge. I mean, I don't think that Fudge should get shit on no matter what. Like that's the thing that I don't understand is like I don't understand when like cause so going into the tournament is when I'll like normally shit on TS. Like going into the tournament is when I got hard flamed by the community last year, right? I was like, oh, NA is gonna get stomped at Worlds, like. And pretty much, I started getting shit on during playing stage when LGD did not look good. I mean, this is just a fucking slaughter. Damn, this ends up being just a 24-minute game. Wait, Scout TP'd behind them there to get the flank. I respect that at least. I respect the attempt from Scout. Look at where Scout TPs. Scout TPs to this ward here just to get a flank. And he gets a really good ult here, doesn't he?
Killer instinct as well, and I think they've done it. FPX now gonna fight.
4-man. I mean, he tries to do what he can. He has a stopwatch too. I mean, everyone was dead before he got there, but it wasn't that bad.
Was beautiful, but FPX do it anyway. And
yeah, Jace is pretty broken.
On the phone. It's time to be woo-woo with FPX versus EDG.
I like the call. I like the call there. That's actually a fun call. It's time to be woo-woo. true.
Best of 5. You knew you had to expect it. Blue side continued the 100% win rate. FPX putting all their eggs in the Nuggets.
Isn't Fudge like top 2-3 tops in NA? It's like Alfari. I would say this split Impact probably played better than Fudge as a whole. Impact, Alfari, and then Fudge probably.
EDG continuing the trend of leaving Flandre.
Someday was pretty lackluster.
And at the end of the
Hootie
day,
was not that good.
you know, you just love to see it. It was
Impact is underrated again because his
able to come out ahead. They were able
yeah,
to
his
come
team
out
is just
ahead
dog
with
shit.
the gold advantage they already had from the top side.
All right, game 5, let's do it.
Taking as many.
We have a very different draft.
So Nocturne left up here. Honestly, Finn is not bad. I still think Finn has his problems though. I don't think he's as good as Impact was. I think Impact was really good over the course of the split. Like, it was just insane. But yeah, Impact just has a piss low team, so what can he do? I mean, Alfari didn't play super insane, but for NA standards, he was the best top laner in our region over the course of it. All right. But yeah, I mean, the point still stands. What I was gonna say, I kind of got cut off by the fight. People, like, you should be expecting NA to get shit on, and then if they don't get completely shit on, you should be happy. That's what the mentality of like an NA fan should be going into MSI. You shouldn't be hopeful that they beat Mad Lions or like be like, oh, like they probably can do it. Maybe they can do it. Like that shouldn't be your mentality. You should expect that like in the most likely scenario is C9 get absolutely destroyed by everyone, get 3-0'd if they make it to top 4, and then they just move on to like, you know, like they play top 4. That should be the expectation. And anything over that, you should be proud of them. If they take a game off like FPX or if they take a game off Dom1, that's huge. That's massive. That's a great overperformance by them. That's the mentality that people need to have going into the tournament. And if things turn out differently, well then like you can be hyped on that different result. Like that's completely normal. I just don't like when you do correct analysis going into it and then things happen and then you just get shit on by NA fans because like an NA team overperformed. Like, you need an NA overperformance and an FPX/RNG/Dom1 massive underperformance to have a shot at winning a series. Isn't that a bad mentality for players to have? I think that Perks' mentality is pretty good. Like, I think Perks' mentality is like, he's just going into like MSI. Like, MSI doesn't really matter that much, right? Like, like you just go into it with a growth mindset. You try your best at the tournament. And, you know, if you get exposed by one of these teams and you get absolutely shit on, you just learn from it. You don't really, like, freak out. It's completely fine. You can get shit on. You're a relatively new team. You learn from it. You go into, like, summer even stronger. I think that's, like, the best mindset to have. You shouldn't have expectations on yourself to perform here because, yeah, you're a massive underdog. All right. Nocturne, Xayah, Alistar. First 3. So so this is, like, technically counter lane for EDG bot lane. They should have, theoretically, the better bot lane. Xayah good into Kai'Sa. Alistar good into Rel. All good. Nocturne first picked from EDG. This is interesting because Nocturne had been banned the entire series, so it's also a flex pick. I'm surprised they actually banned Gnar I guess they banned Gnar before they knew that there was going to be a Nocturne up. They probably thought that Nocturne was going to get banned here instead of Udyr, and they're probably planning to first pick Udyr here, and they just didn't want to give Gnar over to Nuguri. Because, yeah, then they either have to pick Jace early, and Jace cannot be good for the comp, and I don't even know if they want to opt into the Flandre Jace versus the Nuguri Gnar matchup. DNB with the Sylas pick here on 3, this is actually interesting because technically it's a flex pick. Not a lot of people would consider it a flex pick, but like Nocturnal really good and Alistar already good for Sylas. So if you pick Sylas here, what you can do is you can ban out like the mid lane counters to Sylas. So Zoe, Ryze are normally the 2 that you ban out. Potentially some people ban out Orianna if they don't think the other guy has a good Ryze or if they don't think the other guy has a good Zoe. But yeah, you can ban out 2 of the mid lane champs and then make this a much better pick. Obviously, you're going to get to see the draft strategy here from FPX. One of the only teams in the world that actually plays Sylas as a flex pick. So yeah, that should be pretty useful here. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
What?
How are you doing? I still think people don't understand that I legitimately rant to you about League of Legends, and you just sit there and take it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like, 315 dive. Look at how good it is. All right, so Sylas actually flex pick here, right? So that's part of the value of the pick, and if you have a team that can actually flex Sylas, huge advantage. Obviously here, they pick a tank top. Sylas is really good at the tank tops. Look at Doonby's face when he realizes that they just picked a tank top, and he knows that Sylas is a
I
flex.
think you're right. I'm actually really interested to see where this goes because
Give me a Kali.
EDG's plan was, it's like, hey, if they
And the good thing here is that technically, EDG is still probably confused as to where the picks are going. And they're probably like, damn, like, because Nuggery can also play Akali.
And Doonby is going to go back onto this Akali pick.
Looks like it for now. Let's just watch it and wait for the final lock-in, right? I love the logic here, Lyric. It makes perfect sense. But good here for the side of Nuggery if this is how things stay. Doomby's already played the Akali within this series. Flandre's already shown us within LPL playoffs that he can...
Thank you for all the awesome streams, Big Dog.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, game 5. I got to leave, like, right after this, by the way. We got this game. I can't even pause that much during the game, and then I have a meeting at 12 my time. It's 11:25 my time. So, luckily, this is a 32-minute game, so it's not that long of a game. I mean, you guys can see from the VOD timer, right? So, yeah. We just got to get this game, get off, and then tomorrow I have longer. I don't have, like, a cap on my stream like I do today. Isn't Sedge a terrible pick into Sylas? So, like, the idea behind the Sejuani here is that when you pick Sejuani, you already have 2 melees on your team, so it's going to have high value, and into top laners, it's actually fine. They just clearly didn't expect the Sylas to be flex. So, yes, Sejuani is really bad into Sylas and lane, but clearly here, Flandre's mentality is that he thinks that their top laner is just going to pick potentially a range top laner, maybe something like GP. He doesn't think it's going to be a Sylas top. Because it hasn't been played yet in the series. But I really like seeing the adaptations and the willingness to play this comp in Game 5. Think about FPX's Game 5 comp. Sylas top, Akali mid, Olaf jungle. Like, that is like a risky comp to play. You can get absolutely smashed with this type of comp.
But the thing is, you know, Xayah has the...
But they're willing to do it here.
...that we talked about. You have the paranoia from the Nocturne, which can also really...
Honestly, I feel like in a vacuum, EDG's draft is still better.
They have a fine time with... If they can find...
Like, the Sylas has a lot of value, but it's really hard to fight, like, front to back, and Xayah's pretty good against getting flanked. So it's kind of like game 2, but with a better AD against getting flanked. Yeah, and with more peel.
Viper gets time to reposition. You find the picks, you find the front to back team fight that you need. So again,
why is Sejuani not going jungle here? Sejuani's clear is too slow to be played jungle right now. It's kind of doomed. Can't play Sedge against Olaf. It's impossible.
I like that, though. The angles from FPX and EDG...
I mean, Sejuani's just impossible to play right now in general. Just... shit champion for jungle. I hate that, like, junglers... I hate the way the jungle is, man. Don't get me started on jungle. It's really, really cringe.
Meanwhile, on this top side, Nuggery doing a good job of punishing Flandre on this Sejuani top. Nuggery has gone for Conqueror in the lane, while it is Flandre with the phase rush instead of anything super defensive.
I mean, this is what we would expect out of both, because we actually saw Flandre run the phase rush in his last matchup. The thing is, that was against Agragas. He did fall behind because of the amount of pressure he faced, but against a Sylas
why is,
totally fine because
wait, what was the question? Why did they go Olaf here? A lot of junglers are banned. I'm not sure if Lilia was banned, but they got pinched pretty hard in jungle, right? Like, Udyr and Hecarim were banned. Nocturne was taken. The next thing up would be Lilia, but then they wanted to pick Sylas on 3, and then the first 2 picks, Kaiserel, one of FPX's best spot lanes. They're just really good at the lane.
Already building aggressively straight into the amplifying tome, and Dark Seal in the first back as well.
Jungle needs hyper. Yeah, I mean, jungle just needs, like, I mean, I don't know. They need to reorient the way the jungle is played. Like, the value of the camps and, like, the items don't make sense. I mean, honestly, if they want to change the meta, the best thing they could do is just nerf Turbo Chem Tank. Nerfing Turbo Chem Tank would just increase jungle viability by a lot immediately.
The real hard question, will Na ever win Worlds, or will the game die before that happens?
Who knows? I mean, I'm not going to say NA will never win Worlds.
but I wouldn't be too surprised.
I think they could potentially win. Like, if you get the right group of players. Like, you have players that
Like, hey, you have the
are good enough mechanically to win Worlds in NA.
Viper should never be
You do have players that have, like, the natural ability where they can win Worlds. But, yeah, I think it just depends on, like, do you get the right players together, and can you, like, do you peak at the right time? Like, do you get, like, the miracle run, so to speak? Like, because you don't actually have to be the best team in the world to win Worlds, like, going into it. Like, at the end of the day, you're playing the game, right? So if you're the worst team, okay, Tien engaging. I mean, this is pretty crazy from Tien here. I mean, I guess they have, like, Silas has Prio and Doonbeast coming, so they end up thinking this is okay. Damn, they just dive him just like that. Holy shit. Respect. I mean, that's an aggressive play. I mean, they're really playing off their top mid Prio here, or their top Prio specifically.
Easily able to follow up, pushing the aggression to the max. It doesn't matter that JJ flashed. Doonby was willing to follow, gets out scot-free. 1 kill on the Akali, already going to get that Hextech alternator. TP's right back to lane and didn't lose anything.
This is what we've seen already in the series. Doonby getting in a comfortable position thanks to Tien. I want to point out that if you don't remember...
Double reset? Wait, I didn't see the double reset with axes. He actually did it. Oh my god, he has CDR boots. So it's the axe that fucking laid on... So the only way you can do the double axe is you have to pick up the axe that's laid on the ground. So he Qs, and then he Qs again. Actually, that's pretty nuts. That's actually really nuts from Tien. So he Qs right before he picks up that axe, and then he gets the double axe off. Nah, that's nuts. I understand why JJ didn't want to flash there, because he only was expecting 1 axe. That's pretty nuts. Respect. Oh, no. Oh, this is the one. This is the one, boys. Here it is. Look at this dive.
Shuriken flips there, but Jungle's here. Doonby's out. It's clean as hell, Lyric.
And this is a champion we highlighted. We wouldn't expect to see it from Doonby. Before today, he had only played it 5 times in his career. He was 1-4 on the champion. Now he is 2-4 after the game earlier in this series, and he's getting ready to pop off. Scout especially is going to be under so much threat, right?
Scout didn't have Scout had flash, and he didn't end up flashing there.
But Scout doesn't have that.
It's a really hard time flash though, because Doonby R-E'd him, and then he doesn't want to flash before the E connects. So he has to flash in between when Doonby's E connects and when he R's out. It's a very small window. Nemesis is better. True. I mean, I'm sure that Nemesis like revised what he said. Like, I don't think that Nemesis legitimately thinks Doonby's a bad player. He just thinks that his laning like isn't that good compared to like other players. Which, yeah, I mean, I would agree with. Like, there's probably like, especially on control mages, there's definitely players that are like better at laning phase. What makes Doonby so crazy is players like that, you know? Like, he's good at, like, finding kill opportunities. He's good at, like, playing the game. You know, like, the angles that he chooses in teamfights, the way that he decides to use his abilities in teamfights, like, how he reads the map, his roaming. That's what makes him an insane player. That's why he's one of the best players in the world. Like, I could see, a world where like a player like Humanoid is a better laner than Doonby. Like, I think that's fine. If you say Humanoid's a better laner than Doonby, depending on how you're defining laning, if you're defining it just like just knowing how to like play lanes, like knowledge within the lane phase, like knowing which minions to go for, last hitting, like all that stuff, maybe Humanoid's a better laner. Humanoid's not a better player than Doonby. That's insane to say. That's something you cannot say.
You are chilling, man. You are completely fine against this Nocturne. Again, the one who's going to feel a lot of threat from Nocturne is going to be LWX later on. Yep. Nuggery will right now, just for the fact that Flandre does bring all the CC. JJ brings the damage. If Tien is there or if Doonby can respond, then I think that is definitely...
Rookie is nowhere close to as good as Doonby outside of lane.
FPX going to keep playing around where they're strong, which is the mid lane. But
Rookie's a better laner than Doonby, but like, I mean, Rookie had a bunch of problems this season.
LWX's Crisp is joining the play. Ladies and gentlemen, a 5v5 in game 5. Straight with the paranoia.
Just waiting out the paranoia here. Having to enter here feels bad.
Now he's going to be targeted as Viper sends out the feathers, but the Herald, who's going to secure it? The eye there, hit and exposed. Chris picks it up with the Magnet Storm in the back.
I mean, Viper already used his ult. Oh my god, that Kali is just nuts.
It's too late for Scout. Fun plus Phoenix are flying again.
In a game 5 at 9 minutes, to be sitting 4-0 and
Crazy.
2 on this Akali. You pointed out JJ pops the paranoia.
How do you eat so slow and controlled? They eat like a fucking pig?
You know, 4 members
Well, part of it is being on stream, but then the other part of it is that I've been like, for some reason, I bit my lip in one spot, and I've been perma biting my lip in the same spot because it's like it got pretty inflamed. I've been biting my lip in the same spot over and over again, so now I'm just trying to eat like slower and letting it heal for once because it's literally been like 3 weeks of me having the same sore that I keep on like re-biting.
Yeah, you highlight. We see Nuggery take the Sejuani ultimate, throws it out, locks a member down again. All of EDG turn towards the top side.
I mean, wait, what did Chris hit 6 off? Did Chris hit 6 off a ward? Chris hit 6 off the ward, guys. Guys, Chris hit 6 off this ward. That's the whole reason why this fight goes like this. Holy shit. So EDG was like, oh, Rel's only level 5. Rel is only level 5, guys. Rel is only level 5. Hits level 6 off the ward and then just RWs. So like they didn't recognize that Chris was level 6. That was the biggest mistake. They didn't realize that he was just gonna RW. Damn, he actually hit level 6 off the ward. I didn't see it the first time.
Takes on a member. Also, Viper uses the Feather Storm early, does come back down, and FPX is able to clean that one up. Look at it. Not even 10 minutes in the Night Harvester build. Scout's gonna have to pay so much respect. He still has the flash up, luckily, but Scout's not really gonna walk past the point he is in his lane right now. You don't want to get too far from turret. You're always gonna be under threat. Doinby's ultimate already almost back available.
Just crazy. Seeing a Night Harvester on an Akali who's got a level advantage at 10 minutes into the game is beyond insane at this point.
Well, Doonby had his E on it. He's like, you know what? I don't even need this blue. Fuck it.
I think. Unlucky, but Doonby so far ahead in this lane shouldn't affect him too much.
Why is this 5v5
Things are going towards the top side, Lyric.
at Rift?
Look at it.
Good, but NA is bad. Actually, let me look at it. Maybe it is bad. Let me look at it.
Turn on this. Out.
Quite difficult. Too far. We also know that
You're going to Vision trying to scout out Tien on the bottom side of the map behind their red buff. And now more Vision trying to scout out Tien because they know that's what he's going to try and do, right? You're going to hover mid. You're going to try and get Scout Splash. You're going to roam with Doonby. I mean, the thing, though, is chilling, man. You are completely fine against this Nocturne. Again, the one who's going to feel a lot of threat from Nocturne is going to...
So I think the Herald start from EDG is good.
Will right now, just for the fact that Flandre does bring all the CC.
Honestly, this is a pretty good read from Kai'Sa because Kai'Sa's coming off a base. I think that this is like the most important thing is that the reason why this to me is better immediately from Chinese teams, even though it is a 5v5 at Herald, is just that both AD carries are coming off a recall. So the fact that like AD carries aren't already in lane, like let's say Viper was already bought, then I would say that like then EDG would have to drop this. Or if Kai'Sa was already bought, who needs to push the wave? The problem with this is if they actually run bot, they're not going to get anything bot because they're so far away from the wave. So like the best play they can make is actually running to Herald. It's just based off like when you do the 5v5 at Herald. Like doing it off a recall isn't as bad as doing it when your AD carries already on the wave.
Insane at this point to use that.
My meeting's going to end up doomed. No, it's okay. I can be like a couple minutes late, I hope.
They have full jungle tracking.
I'm still within time.
Again, they forced him off a wave, so LWX also having a CS advantage. LWX very close to getting that first item, sitting a component up, has a serrated Dirk, you know, for that Q evolve as well. And now for FPX, we expect them to just consistently hover towards that bottom side of the jungle. Both soul laners on both teams do have TPs if any skirmishes break out, but I don't need to say it. You know it is there because the audience knows it. Any skirmish at this point in time is solidly FPX.
It's not a meeting with Cloud9. It's a meeting with another
But
company I can't say yet.
Card comes JJ with lethal tempo, and
Damn, I mean, they have the kill pressure there.
EDG when everything went wrong.
Yep, they
FPX
don't
get dragged for it.
They have to punish on the opposite side of the map where FPX will be. They know that FPX have been constantly hovering bot side, getting that vision. So
Why don't you stream your meeting for content?
did have to go
I actually wonder how that would go. You get to see a different side of
too much threat as we
me.
highlighted. And once again, we see crisp.
Well, I mean, one thing that I do that I don't think a lot of like other streamers do is I actually negotiate my own meetings. So Kelly and I like do the calls together. Just because like I didn't really like having an agency. So like I had an agency for years, and I know a lot of streamers still use agencies. For me, I just felt like agencies couldn't represent me as well in a meeting as I could myself, especially if I'm passionate about like what I'm doing. So like now I reach out to my own sponsors and I'm like, hey, like this is why I want to work with you. I use your product. This is how I have like ideas integrated into my stream, where I felt like other companies were not able to do that for me on my behalf. So yeah, I mean, it's like the same way the UGG thing happened. You know, I already used UGG. I'm not just like shilling UGG and I fucking am using OP.GG every day. Like, no, I use UGG for the tier list because I really care about like those types of stats, and then I also used it for the LP gains because I just wanted to see like how much I was gaining and losing on my accounts. So
to shut down a lot of these crit ADCs that we see in this meta, but in this composition where FPX's comp isn't reliant on immobile backliners.
Agency wasn't the best. I still like. I don't even think like a good agency can represent you as well as you can represent yourself in a conversation, because like a lot of like sponsors want ideas from their creators. Like they want to know why you want to partner with a product and like what like you can do for them, like reasoning as to like what's going to make your partnership unique. Like people don't want like these shitty sponsorships where like you just shout it out a couple times and no one clicks the fucking link and then you just give them money for no reason.
You're explaining good points about EDG, or at least what needs to happen. I wouldn't call it good. You know, we look at that top lane, oh, okay, that's getting punished as well. Oh, we look at bot, okay, that's getting punished too. We look at mid, oh, nothing happened because it's an Orianna and Doomby's still so far ahead of the curb. You're not seeing this right now, but it's 960 gold in just turret plating alone. The 6 kills add the rest of the
I mean, the thing here is that FPX can't just let the enemy team farm. They actually need to like, they need to play through Soul. They need to get second Herald. They need to take everything they can on the map right now because they will get outscaled by Xayah Orianna in like a pure sense later on.
Finals, and at 14 minutes of the game, early to be saying that, but still not very bold of a statement. There's the Rift Herald spawning, and they'll continue to look for control. So Lyric, Tien starts that off, and that's pretty much a done deal with JJ back in his own jungle with a level disadvantage.
I like that FPX's bot lane also hovered but didn't fully commit because they're not going to lose out anything in the bot side. They did push in the last wave. It does look like LWX is... I'm not sure if he was like picking up small wolves or something or just checking for where Nocturne could possibly...
Do you have to communicate each outside meeting with Jag? No, it's literally just that there's like categories that I can... There's categories that I just like that are Cloud9 categories. Like, for example, I couldn't go get G Fuel because I have like Red Bull as a sponsor already through Cloud9. So there's just certain categories that are off limits. Outside of that, I can take whatever sponsor as long as it's like reasonable. You know, I couldn't get like a fucking sex toy sponsor or something that would like represent Cloud9 in like a bad way, you know?
Just fog of war and denial of vision puts so much threat on the side of EDG from what Doinby can do.
And especially when you're at this point in the game, like, it's not just denial, it's also the advantageous position that you get as FPX, right? You don't know where is warded and where isn't because EDG risk walking into, you know, a pick, walking into a threat, an assassination. So deep boards in their own control, in their own jungle, especially against solo laners with teleport. Doomby doesn't have that right now, but Nuguri does. But when Doomby has that backup and available, another threat to add to the list. Lyric at this point, that
do I get free Red Bull? Yep, get free Red Bull.
Doomby hasn't cleared it. He's actually just replaced his own control ward. So they will get a bit of jungle tracking, noting that they also
no C9 butt plug sponsor.
For EDG that really
yeah, I mean, honestly, with how NA's been recently, I think that probably could do some good.
Thing is, Hysterics, if this was, you know, a match of Yu-Gi-Oh, EDG are turned sideways. They are in defense mode. You know, you're not trying to walk into the jungle alone. You're not trying to walk into the river alone. Anytime any members of EDG walk, like even into their own jungle or through river in dangerous positions, right? They at least seem to be grouped as like a 3 or 4 man core, in my opinion. It's way too dangerous. Get some defensive wards in your own jungle is.
We need to move Doinby to side lane right now, and they're doing it.
They all know.
So yeah, this is the timing where you want to move your Akali to the side lane.
The Ice Spawn picked up, or rather the Frostfire. Everfrost picked up though from Nuguri. That's a good little tool to move away as their Herald number 2 pushes into the mid lane, but doesn't hit the turret. But FPX have grouped as 5 right around the dragon spawning. They've already got 2 here, Lyric. They're going for number 3.
And the thing is, it might not be Season 3, but League of Legends is still a very snowballing game. If you're the team with an advantage, you control all the options. The enemy team has to play, I don't even want to say more reactively, but they have, you know, less cards. They have less options to pick from because they always have to be thinking about, hey, what's your comp doing? What is your goal? So, EDG,
I mean, yeah, FPX just have to, like, play through drag, I think. They're still on pace to win. 1-3-1, keep the Silas in the side lane, keep the Akali in the side lane, try to break mid whenever you can. They got Herald number 2 and just go for Soul. Definitely a Soul win condition game.
I mean, this is a game 5 where, let's be honest, 4 games of this series have been so back and forth.
Hysterics, we have Stridebreaker Olaf as well. He's no fear, not going to go towards anything like a Gore Drinker, which, you know, you traditionally
I just feel like Stridebreaker is better than Gore Drinker on Olaf. It feels much better to play with. I feel like Gore Drinker just feels kind of weird. Like, you don't even get enough of a healing to, like, really, like, overcommit and then Gore Drinker heal most of the time unless they have, like, 18 melees on the enemy team. I just feel like Stridebreaker being able to, like, gap close is so OP. Like, being able to Stridebreaker and get the slow and then just, yeah, just axe them and just stay on them feels really nice.
While we are talking about items, Luke, 2 items here for Doomby, 2 items here for LWX. Is that a surprise? Of course not. I also want to point out, Scout has gone for Everfrost on Orianna. He wants to live. He wants to survive, and I guess that is his itemization showing that.
Definitely does, and for the side of FPX, everything on the map right now is free, right? They take mid lane turret, they're going to start pathing into topside river, push into EDG's topside jungle. I feel like you should get some control wards down. Doinby's TP is about to be up, so he's fine playing in this lane. If anyone remembers the days of where
God, David, I want to see you play. I'll be playing actually a decent amount pretty soon. Like, early next week, I'll probably just start gameplay streams for like 3 weeks or so. Probably do them pretty intensely. Decent amount of hours per day. Maybe like 1 day off a week, 6 days of streaming, maybe like 7-8 hours a day. Probably play jungle and support this time.
Saying that FPX member will get in trouble this game is fake news. So Mako hovering behind, Doomby now pushing up, level 13 versus level 12 here in the mid lane matchup, while Nuguri in the top lane pushing in, LWX pushing in as well. These guys continuing to farm up, having a very controlled game after it went so wrong so early on. And yeah, it's slowed down, but this is just showing you how FPX have tempered their aggression, because they don't need to do anything else. They're riding FF in all chat. They're saying 15. It's 20 minutes into the game, and you know EDG obviously.
Oh shit! I was talking while eating. I do play on Twitch with Hums while I'm like off stream, but he's streaming it, so you can hear like my voice comms and stuff like while playing. All right, so FPX really just need to play through this Soul win condition. They don't need to panic. Even though they haven't really extended their gold lead that much, like their comp doesn't actually extend the gold lead that well outside of neutrals. Like their objectives, like, yeah, I mean, they're good when they come to like a dragon fight, but around turrets, they can't really like siege down turrets and like do that normal type of gameplay. So FPX has to, yeah, they just have to play for Dragon Soul and not mess it up. It's kind of hard to do that. To be honest, this is something we rarely see executed in LCS. Like, how often do we see a team pick early champions around Soul and then just get every dragon like clockwork and then show up to the Soul fight, win the Soul fight, take Soul, and win the game? How often does it happen? Like, think about every single time we're in a game. Like, what's an example of one? Oh, JJ tried to go onto Silas, but then called it off because they didn't know where Rel was, even though Rel was his base. But yeah, I mean, there's times. I mean, there's just like times where like a team will have that Soul win condition. Like for example, C9 versus TL game 1, where like, I mean, Cloud Soul is not a huge win condition, but like they should definitely like get the Soul uncontested, and then randomly they throw the game like after they got third dragon, and then they lose the next 2 or whatever. Like we see that happen so much in NA. Where like, where I just want to see a team, an NA team, have the discipline to just win the game through Soul. That's what I liked about 100 Thieves, when 100 Thieves were like good at the beginning of the years. They would actually like win the game properly in the games that they were snowballing.
Without barrier also there as well, Lyric. Just note that we've got a bit of MR in this Akali too, as teleports being channeled. Dragon, you mentioned, 20 seconds away here. Soul for FPX would further sweeten the deal. Here's the next TP from EDG.
So yeah, this is Soul. EDG have to fight this. They can't give Mountain.
Stolen the Unbreakable Wills as Everfrost is just threatening
And there's the big raid boss.
All right, so let's see how FPX like end up controlling the zone, because they are the ones that are in River first.
And moving towards inevitability.
At this point, it's EDG.
So I want to see them hold this position.
Go for a steal. Once they get Dragon low, drop that paranoia jump.
They kind of let them walk in for free, but then again, they don't have like a great team to control choke points. This is like a little bit different. Okay, so here they didn't control the chokes, but they're actually not as strong in chokes as like other team comps are, because they don't have a mage. Like when you have like an Azir, an Orianna, a Victor, a Syndra, it's so much easier to stop the enemy team from walking in. In these types of team comps, you're more okay with the enemy team walking into you, because if they walk into you, then you can like go from so many different angles.
They're gonna leap, but Doomby chases up. Viper on half L, Shuriken flip. He's in again. The feathers fly. Doomby stunned up, but in goes LWX. FPX want to end it here, but the shockwave is a good re-engage. But the problem is, FPX have so much more damage. You need to kill the Akali. You need to kill Nuguri on the Silas. And Mako is unfortunately gonna be dinner.
When we saw Doinby go in as Mako, he's dead. We saw the 5-point
Alright.
strike do about 30%.
I guess they don't do Baron here. To do Baron, they have really low Baron damage outside of Kaisa. So they need him to be up. But yeah, they have Soul now, so they're in a good spot. They're just chilling.
Fondre trying to chase him out of the jungle, but I don't think he can do anything. Nuguri and Tien are so strong.
LWX suiciding as per usual. Yeah, LWX literally suicides every single fight. Like, how crazy is that to have that as like one of your team's weaknesses? Like, if you were to do like a breakdown, you'd be like, okay, so LWX like pretty good in lane phase. In team fights, he will literally run it down every single time. Here it is.
Bring it down to a smite fight, bring it to like a 50-50 or I guess slightly less because of the level disadvantage. As we now see here, Doomby does flash in, the 5-point strike comes out. Viper's already half HP, and sure, WX does get a boost to
Jesus Christ.
Instantly bursted, but all the other members are so strong, and there's the Baron that we talked
Imagine your team is so good that your AD carry can run it down every single fight, and you still are just like winning.
This Akali is scary as he hits Scout all the way out.
I mean, Doinb is like, yeah, I mean, he's just, yeah. It's just like one of those performances where you just put so much respect on the person. Like, this is game 5 to go into finals.
I mean, at this
Game 5 to go into finals and Doinb showing up like this. Insane.
Run in one by one to give EDG a chance of getting back.
Not even on one of his like normal like comfort picks.
Baron buff, it's going to be so hard. FPX are choosing to play out through 2 lanes, but you know they do have a 1-3-1 comp. They could even send Nuguri bot and put maximum pressure onto the side of EDG. Maybe a choice is, oh, Nuguri goes in. I think they want to have Nuguri around their core, so EDG don't have any opportunities to find a pick onto LWX. So they are just going to keep this up, rotate towards top side once Doinb does push his tower down.
That'll be pretty quick. Look at the Baron doing work. Nuguri has the unbreakable will. Remember, he'll get knocked up by 3 people. It doesn't matter, but Viper's the next target.
My God, Viper just lost like half his health for nothing.
Doomby's going to follow as well. The Akali.
I mean, look at this dive.
FPX can smell it. The grand final that they've been expecting to do. This is where they're coming into their...
Oh, LWX didn't suicide. I mean, look at the dive, bro. Like, Jesus, let him live.
Are ready to fly again.
Their team does suck dick at sieging. Like, for sure their team sucks at sieging, but it's crazy to see them just dive like this. Respect.
Off on the squad. Nuguri showing up. Tien's here, and they are doing so good.
FPX have made the run from round number 2. This team is not the first seed, not the second seed, like EDG are. And as they TP in, looking for the end since 2019 summer, where they went to Worlds, where they destroyed Europe. FPX are looking to make...
Come on, why'd you have to throw in that line about destroying Europe? What the fuck? They can't end here.
Regen. It is not over yet. Nuguri's gonna die, and this truly is...
Okay, 2 inhibs. It's over, though.
I love how FPX kind of baited themselves in that one. They think they could end. Doinb even TPs in there like, hey, we got this. But that timers were about 20 seconds, 15 seconds at that point. So Nuguri's like, hey, we're going to end the game. I'm just going to jump in. We're going to see what happens as we go back in the replay. I mean, EDG try to find their chance, right? Doinb's off to the side. They technically have numbers advantage, but very easy for FPX to move in. Doinb comes over the wall. Amazing.
I mean, that's pretty fucking aggressive, man.
You force out the ultimate from Viper, but he's already chunked at half HP.
Who kills Viper here?
Onto Tien, but all the other members of FPX.
Oh, it's such a good E from Nuguri. Jesus.
Off, Nuguri goes in to get Viper. And now
Nuggery's having so much fun, you can just tell.
you push this in, you have supers in mid and tops. You don't even need to pressure those, right? It's just a matter of patience for FPX now. They just play it slow, even if they run it down a few times.
Yeah. What's going to happen,
they're
right?
Still, exactly. They're still winning.
10k gold lead. It's going to grow even more. EDG lost one Nexus turret.
10K gold lead.
The bottom Nuggery's over the wall. The Frost doesn't connect. He's got the unbreakable will. He's going to manage them.
I mean, the Silas can literally just fucking like engage, tank the turret with Alistar ult and just chill. He's so strong.
This man, he's joined FPX. He wants no more than an LPL championship. And this fight would give him that opportunity in the grand finals. Turret now going to be pressured, and Lyric, look at the minions channeling in.
Just dive, Hysterics. FPX pull the trigger again. They have such a massive advantage. They have the shield from Mountain Soul. They have both Zon.
And they're waiting for their waves. They're playing it pretty smart, pretty disciplined here.
And Nuggery, this is where they're going to try and kill him. He's got the
They can't
unbreakable
kill him.
will.
He has Alistar ult. GG.
Glacial Prison doesn't matter. They're burning down the turrets. FPX, fly, Phoenix, fly, as they're looking to take down EDG. Expectations be damned. Doesn't matter about first or second seed. When you're the Phoenix, you book your ticket to the grand final with one step away from MSI.
All right.
FPX in Game 5. They bet on Nuggery performance coming out in this series, especially obviously in the games they won.
I'm the cut here, but
taking over the game.
yeah, I mean, FPX look like they're gonna win the championship. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe they don't. So yeah, we'll have to see. Anyways, I'll be watching the next two series. The RNG series, we will watch RNG EDG and RNG top. We're gonna watch both of those tomorrow. And then we will live view the finals the 18th for LPL. That's the plan. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I gotta go. I am busy, but I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Free fall.